Welcome everyone to Saturday Evening Chats. This is episode 108, and tonight we have with us Mr. Chris from the 740. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
In a world of uncertainty and turmoil, one man stands alone, along with his faithful sidekick. A man who entertains and educates the masses weekly, 70% of the time. Born out of the dusty plains of Washington State, now from the coastal forests of Oregon. The man, the myth, the man, G23.
So tonight, first in was Mr. Burnaby Sanchez. Welcome. G-Webs, Chris pulling double duty. Georgia Trapping and Fishing. Welcome, Craig. And Mr. Michael Hurtnick is out there. So, welcome everyone.
What's going on, Michael?
Oh, well, so T-minus 5 days.
Yeah, Thursday I get married and leaving out of here first thing Monday morning, heading to Cincinnati to get on the plane and fly out. So, right now I hate this. I hate packing. It's like, you're going to forget something.
Well, see, at least you're going to Vegas, so just remember t-shirts and shorts.
Yep. Well, the big thing is this time is all the camera gear, like making sure I've got.
Well, like that should be in your carry-on.
Yeah, I packed up all my. I got all the GoPros loaded today, and then the batteries. Wanted to make sure I took the little thumb screw mounts because I figured that'd be one of those things I'd do. I'd end up heading out with everything and then be like, didn't bring the thumb screw mounts. That would suck. So, taking a backup phone with me. Yeah, I think I'm pretty much there.
Yeah, when we were coming back from the ocean, we took a new road yesterday, and the wife and I both agreed that I need to get a GoPro that I can mount on the back of my rearview mirror.
Oh yeah.
So that I can record, like driving down the road, because that road yesterday, it had a 55 mile an hour speed limit, but you were not getting above like 40. It was so windy and everything. If you weren't paying attention, you drive off the edge, you're going directly into the river. I mean, there's no guardrail. There's no nothing. You're just right into the river. And some of the houses that were there, I should have taken some video of that. I mean, you live that close to the ocean, but yet you have a damn river right there.
Right.
How lucky can you be? So we got Warsaw Patriot out there.
Oh, Warsaw.
He's been putting out some good videos here lately.
Yeah, he has. Yeah.
Yes, I did see the videos you put out there, Warsaw. Yep. Trying to decide if I'm going to go pay for a range membership.
What's the closest one to you?
It's probably 20 miles away.
Not bad.
No. I got CB out there. Guys CB's a great guy, and he right now he's going through some horrible health issues, and he's putting out a video series he's called "Living to Die," because he's got cirrhosis of the liver and another where the iron in your body starts building up in your organs, and so it's really attacking his liver, and he's hoping to get a liver transplant. So he's got to get some numbers down so that he can be able to go onto the liver transplant registry. So keep him in your thoughts and prayers, and check out his I'm gonna butcher it. Hemochromatosis is what it's called.
I don't think I'm subscribed to CB's channel.
He's come on here a few times. That was back before you came on.
Yeah.
Then he disappeared. Oh, it was probably around Christmas, maybe a little before that. And I don't know, it was maybe a month ago. I reached out to Solo Yacker because that's where I met CB. Was over on Solo Yacker's channel, or the Armed Fisherman, whichever channel you may know. And I was like, "Hey, have you heard from CB? I haven't heard from him." And he's like, "No, I haven't." Good call there, G. Let me text him. So we both messaged him, and
I'm subscribed to CB's channel now. Threw a link out there too. So,
yep.
Hey, Buck's out there.
Yes, good loving Grandpa. So,
oh yeah, Hobby's Hobo popped in too. What's up, Mike?
Hell yeah. What's going on, Buck? So,
talked to G-Webs yesterday. We were commenting back and forth on a video, and told me to give a call out to Battlefield Vegas, so I did do that. I made that call. Asked them what the best time was to come on Thursday. They said be there first thing in the morning. I asked them if they were cool with me filming. They were cool with that, and so I was glad I made the call. He kind of, G-Webs told me to give him a call, let him know that I was YouTuber and stuff, so I did that. So it looks like we're all set to go.
So I reached out to ADE.
Oh yeah, let's hear that.
And asked about doing an interview and everything, and told them that I was a small YouTube channel. They asked for a link, so I sent him a link to me interviewing Chris Chang, because, why not? And waiting to hear back from him. So maybe Monday or Tuesday, I'll hear back from him.
They're pretty good getting back to you. They're actually one of the faster companies to return my emails. Oh man, I wish you would too, Warsaw.
They got back to me pretty quick. And then after I sent him, that was I sent him an email Thursday evening. They got back to me Friday morning. I responded Friday afternoon. So I don't expect to hear anything back from him until Monday.
Yeah, they'll get back to you. I gotta track my video Tuesday and Thursday is another ADE optic they sent that I already got them uploaded, ready to go. So,
yep, and
they're pretty cool.
Yeah, it's not like I'm asking them for free stuff. I'm just saying, hey, let me come do a tour. Let me come video and do an interview. I think that would be pretty cool.
Look who's out there in the chat. LW Road is out there.
Yep. Did you watch this train video?
That was unreal. I watched it live. I was watching it in my truck while I was driving.
I was at work. I didn't get to watch it live, but I watched it, and damn.
That one of the guys commenting in the side chat said it looks like a painting, and I was sitting there thinking the exact thing, same thing. I'm like, that doesn't even look real.
Yeah.
God, that's beautiful there, man.
Watching that video, and then I was like, I know they do train rides over on the Oregon coast, so I'll look into that. And oh my God, it is $180 for like a 3-hour train ride with dinner for 2 people.
It's not bad.
I'm thinking it better be damn well the best meal I've ever had. Because that's like $50 a plate.
Probably cheaper before all this fuel shit happened. Yeah, that was wild. I mean, those mountains across that water and stuff, man. I mean, that was breathtaking. Man, to be watching it on a cell phone in your truck, I can't imagine what that has to look like. Seeing that in person.
He's got to go and rub that in.
Yeah,
it was free. Ouch. Yeah. That's the nice perks. I guess I can't really complain. He got a free train ride. I got free ammo in the mail.
Yeah, can't complain about that.
Right? I mean, and that Hornady critical defense or critical duty, I don't know which one it is, but it is one of the critical lines.
Was that the 45 long Colt?
Yeah, it's the 45 Colt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They'll go right in the jugs nicely. LW says that's way better, getting free ammo in the mail.
Yeah, right now it is. Yeah, I was down there. I was trying to get. I think I ended up shooting. I ended up shooting a little over 400 rounds last weekend of 9, with both matches together.
So you're gonna have to get a 40.
No,
considering 9s blow the people's lungs right out their body, and they're gonna ban it from.
Yeah.
Then what are you gonna do?
Yeah, man. That guy. Sometimes when I think that guy can't say something more stupid, then he does that.
Hold my beer.
Yeah, he's done a lot of hold my beers.
Is that the stupidest thing you've ever said? Hold my beer. Yeah. I mean.
Hi, Santy. Yeah, I was trying to get all that ammo recouped. I ended up loading up. I did 100 last night. I did 100 today. And
we gotta get Miss Santee on here one of these nights.
Yeah. Yeah, she'd be fun to talk to her. She went because she was at NRAM, I think, all last weekend.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good chat. I like going to NRAM, but I just didn't want to make the drive to Texas.
Michael Hurtnack is asking if you're still finding primers, and if so, how much are they?
I mean, I can go get primers every day if I want to. The problem is like if I drive to the Sportsman's Den, that's 45-minute drive for me, and they'll only let me have 300. And I think I'm paying $7.99 a tray for them there. So, which right now with the price of stuff, it's not bad, but it's like, man, I don't like driving all the way over there and only being able to bring back 300 primers. If I drive to Finn, that's about an hour and 5 minutes. And I think you can get 1,200 there. You can get like 400 small pistol, 400 small rifle, and then the same in large pistol and the same in large rifle. But they're like, I think they're $10.99 a tray. So, but all these, the thing that I do, because I keep hearing people say, oh, I can't get primers. I can't get primers. I mean, I can get primers every day. And it's like, I use Discord. There's a reloading group that I'm a member of on Discord, and they pop up all day long. But the problem with those are by the time you buy them and you pay for hazmat and shipping, you're paying $120 for 1,000. So now you're up to $12 a tray. So, and then I hear people say, oh, I'm not going to pay that. I'm not going to pay that for primers. Well, I'm going to pay it because I'm not going to quit shooting. Like, and I'm still making my ammo cheaper than what I can buy it in the store. Just not as cheap as I was at one time.
I wonder if I can drive up to CCI and just buy my primers directly from them without.
I think you can.
Because that's not too far away. I mean, it's a good drive, but it'd probably save me, quite a bit of money.
So I'm reading Warsaw's Patriot out there. His comment. He says, I'm on Discord. Feel free to contact me there. So here's the thing. I don't even know how to use Discord. So a guy I shoot with I gave him my phone, and he put that app on my phone and then set that reloading thing up. I don't know how to comment on stuff. I don't know how to do anything on it. I just get notifications when those primers come in stock. So you'd have to give me a crash course, Warsaw, on how to use Discord, because I have no idea how to use it.
We got AR Gun 1776 out in the crowd. M. Gabriel's out there. So
hi AR, hi M. Gabriel. Good to see you both.
We gotta get George the Trappin' on here also. He's a guy we need to get on here and have a good chat with.
Okay, yeah, Warsaw said, gee, whenever you want to send him my email, and he can send me an invite.
Okay.
But yeah, those primers, they pop up all day long.
Santi's like, I don't know how to work Discord either.
I don't either. I think that was like made for like supercomputer. People. I don't know.
I can't say there used to be. There is an app out there. It's called Line. And it's been around forever. And I'm pretty sure it's kind of like Discord. When I used to do a lot of online gaming, especially like Mobile Strike, we'd have line rooms where we would go and talk and stuff like that. So it was always fun, but I probably still have a Line account if I ever re-downloaded the app, but that's probably not going to happen.
Warsaw says, watch videos on YouTube. Yeah, have to take a break from gun content for a while and watch Discord videos, I guess.
So I'm gonna let everyone know there's going to be a video dropping probably tomorrow, and let's just put it how it is. I did a rookie mistake and I didn't fucking turn the mic on, so there is no audio at all. Because when you plug in the DJI mics into your phone, at least with my phone, it kills the phone mic, so it won't. The phone mic doesn't like record audio because hey, you got this external audio coming in. So,
It happens. There's always something going on when you're making content. That's for sure.
Yep. So,
like this morning, I was doing that belt, starting that video, doing this core belt review, and so I mounted the GoPro. I got a windshield mount in my truck, so I put the GoPro up there, and I couldn't get that thing to communicate with my phone, and I got it clear over on the corner of the passenger side of the window, so it's not like I can't reach over there and turn it on. So I sat and fought with that, and I was about 3/4 of the way to the gun range before I even got the stupid thing to work. It's always something.
yep. Michael says, "Way to go, G23." You know, Mr. Big Johnson's out in the crowd. So
I had a blast on his chat the other night. That was fun.
Warsaw says, any of you have a 9mm carbine? I don't. So, there's one.
Do. That's what I shoot in competition.
There's one 9mm in my collection, and I can't really say it's my collection. It's the wife's SIG P320 that I bought her for an anniversary gift, and that's the only 9mm in the house.
So speaking of 9mm carbines, I don't think I've talked about. Did I tell you about the mishap over the weekend?
I don't think so.
All right. So Saturday, I shot a match at Crawford, and I think I was on the last stage, and I pulled up to engage a target, and I pulled the trigger. I fired the first round, and then I went to fire the second round, and it fired 2 on one pole. Like, that's not good. So it never did it the rest of the stage. I thought, well, so I should have come home, took the gun apart, and cleaned it, and seen what was going on. So Sunday I had another match. So I was like, I'm just going to leave it in the bag. I'm just going to go straight from this match to the next match. So I was on a stage, and I pulled up on a target, fired 2 rounds, and ended up having 5 come out that time. So I was like, they're gonna disqualify me for sure. So I turned around and looked at my RO. I was like, am I DQ'd? And he said, no, you had your gun pointed in a safe direction. You had full control of it. But he's like, you got to go figure out what's going on with that. So anyway, when I was standing there, I put my chamber flag in it, cleared the gun, made sure the RO knew that I was clear, and my grip was just sitting there flopping around. So that receiver came loose inside that chassis, and the bolt almost fell out of it. So I went back. Luckily, the other guy that was there with me, he was shooting PCC too. He's like, man, I got all my tools with me. So he gave me his tools. I bagged up my gun, went over to a safe table, and tore the gun down. And luckily, I was able to fix it. I was able to get right back in the match. But that was wild. I never, I don't know how many. That gun's got It's got to have 15,000 rounds on it now. That's the first time that's ever happened. But so I never put Loctite on that bolt because after every match I always tear it down and clean it and get everything re-oiled and everything. But I'm gonna have to start putting Loctite in it now, I guess. Sucks. But yeah, Warsaw, you asked if that. Yeah, the one on top is my Ruger PC carbine that I use. USPSA.
You still have your High Point, don't you?
Yep, I still got it too.
So
Still shoot it a lot.
I'm going to throw a link out into the crowd for if CT wants to jump on or if Georgia Fishing wants to jump on. Both of them can. Got room there.
A bunch of people jumped in while I was on my little rant there. Woods
Yep.
is out there. High Woods, High C&T.
Yeah.
Rich
BV.
White's here.
Yes, sir.
Mandatory carries here.
So, I know we possibly have Bending Ballistics jumping on. CNT says he can't jump on because he's doing a brake job. So, Mr. James Pugh is out there. So, welcome.
Hey, James.
Mandatory carry. So,
I don't have any texts or anything from Ballistics yet.
Georgia Trapping. Craig says he's got the grandkids with him. So, yeah, if Warsaw wants to jump in, we definitely would have room. So,
See, somebody said hi, Hot Pot. Is Gene out there?
If he is, I have not seen him.
Yeah, see, Michael said hi to him, and I didn't see any comments.
I know I haven't seen him, but I don't want to say he's not out there. So if he is out there, I definitely want to say welcome to Mr. Hot Pot out there or Mrs. Hot Pot, whichever one it was. I don't want to assume. But so welcome, Warsaw. What's going on?
Yeah, thanks for the link, man.
Yep.
Not much, just posting free videos here and there.
Good to see you, Warsaw.
Hey, what's up, Chris?
Hell, just getting ready to get out of here for a week.
No, but that's a Ruger PC carbine.
Yeah.
I actually came across on some surplus online. You do competition, right?
Right.
There's actually these Tricom chest rigs that are surplus. They use it for the Chinese Type 79. I wonder if that would work in your PC carbine.
I don't know. We're not allowed to have any. We're not allowed to have any kind of sling or anything on our matches.
So you can have it on your chest to pull up mags and all that.
No, we're not allowed. We can't have it. We have to walk up with. It has to be in one hand, pointed in the air with a chamber flag in it, and yeah, we're not allowed to have. Now, if I don't know if. I assume you probably could if you shot 3-gun. I haven't shot 3-gun for years, but yeah, in the USPSA, we're not allowed to have anything like that.
Yeah.
Buck said, "Did you try to sing cowboy while shooting the tactical cowboy?" Nah, I couldn't quit cussing at that thing. Is what.
Talking on chamber flags, though, I've had bad encounters with chamber flags, especially since they're plastic. I would use chamber flags when I'm at the range with the AK,
Mhm.
and I actually, if I got the barrel hot enough, it actually would melt the whole chamber flag, and it's like, then what's the whole point? It's eating up the flag.
Yeah, I could see that happening. It's not an issue with my Ruger. I don't even think I really ever had an issue with my ARs, but yeah, like the one gun range I'm a member of, we have to have chamber flags on all our guns. So I could definitely see that, especially on a day when we're doing AK runs. I could see that happening.
I'm just surprised there's no company making them out of like brass or something.
Yeah. Well, there you go. We might be on to something.
Can't be steel because steel and steel would be bad. What do you think, G23?
I don't use chamber flags, so
Well,
when they come in the firearm, they get thrown out. So,
well, me personally, I don't like bolt open selectors on AKs.
yeah,
I
I
kind of like them. I mean, as far as a couple ranges that I'm member at, we have to have them in our guns all the time, unless we're actually, when we're not shooting them. I kind of like it because the one range where I do most of my filming at, there's a lot of idiots that go there, so it would be kind of nice to be able to look over and say, oh, okay, there's nothing in that gun.
Yeah, I see pros and cons about chamber flags and crap, but
I mean, I could technically make one out of a piece of wood, but same thing. It'll be burning up the wood.
yeah. I mean,
I've spent so many thousands of hours at gun ranges, though, and it's like I've seen so much crazy, unsafe stuff that sometimes the chamber flag looks really good in the gun in a gun in the bay next to me. I know that.
I think it's probably one of the reasons why I don't go to ranges. Really, is I know that I'm going to be safe when I am handling firearms and stuff, and so I can be out in the mountains, and I'm actually talking mountains, not molehills. Our pass levels are over 3,000 feet most of the time, so we get to play in mountains, and you can go to forestry land and shoot for free, as long as you're not shooting in a campground. Kind of common sense things. You're not shooting across the road. If you're being safe about it, you're going to be okay.
Yeah, hopefully at some point I'll have my own range. I would like to just have my own place to go to every day.
Me too.
Because I used to be able to buy land around here real cheap. Nothing's cheap right now.
Right? Yep. P&W understands that. He's like, preach. We got land and we got mountains.
That's a big issue here too. Like if I did buy some land, I mean, we're so flat here that I would have to probably have a pond dug and use all the dirt out of the pond for backstops.
You have any trees?
You got old tires.
You have any trees?
Yeah, we got a lot of woods, but it's flat here.
Because you could stack up some logs on top of each other, then just make a berm and push the dirt on top of the logs.
Yeah.
Tires. I'm telling you.
Tires are cool. Yeah. But that one gun range, I assume that range must be in Texas, the one that Collie and North shoots at all the time. It has all tires.
Yep.
Looks like a junkyard.
Yeah.
you can do that kind of stuff, and you can buy. I mean, yeah, it's not like super cheap, but you can buy those backstops that like are at gun ranges, like your indoor backstops and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You can buy those online. You don't have to be a gun range.
Yeah, but it'd be nice to have a pond.
Well, yeah.
Or if you had the money, just buy your own bobcat in your yard. Just make a berm.
Yep. Like Uncle John says, ocean on one side, mountains on the other.
I didn't see Uncle John out there. Hi, Uncle John.
I got mountains on both sides of me and the ocean on the other side of the mountains. I have to drive over the mountains to get to the ocean.
Trying to think of who it was I was watching. Oh, it was one of the other big YouTubers, One Shot TV. I was watching one of his latest videos, and I assume that range is his is a private range. It's his own, but he used railroad ties for a backstop, and he was using. I don't know if he was shooting tannerite or what he was shooting.
Mm-hmm.
But he left and he came back the next morning, and the range was all his backstops were gone. They all caught on fire and they burned up overnight. I'm like,
you must have used tracers or something.
I think he was using some sort of fuel with tannerite. I don't know, but I'm like, that guy got so lucky that was the only thing that burnt down. That could have been bad.
Yep.
I was actually surprised he even
put
it on video. And
think if you're using, railroad ties, they have a really, really, really nasty like lacquer on them. I mean, it's just, and it will go up real quick.
Oh yeah.
Back in that time period of the 1800s with those railroad ties, a lot of that stuff was all done by hand.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing how once we advanced in that now.
So, PNW Woods says Mount Hood and Mount Rainier both 14,000 plus, and both are active volcanoes.
You want to talk about close possible active volcano? Try Yellowstone.
Well,
kick us off. We're done.
So, if you want to get technical, so Yellowstone is tied in with Mount St. Helens, Mount Hood, and Mount Rainier. If we have a catastrophic where all three of those go off at the same time, it will trigger Yellowstone to go off. There will be no stopping it. It would then trigger, and it would just be the end of the United States at that point.
No, crazy thing too. People keep thinking that Putin's going to hit the nuclear button. Well, we got a volcano. I mean, what's the difference? We might as well toast the whole freaking Earth then at that point.
But yeah, we got 67 Rebel who's jumped in out there. Welcome.
That's
Rebel?
Love, really.
Hebrew Hammer's out there. I haven't said hi to him yet either.
Oh yes, welcome Hebrew Hammer. I'm not being such a good host tonight.
I'm trying to catch him.
Yeah. So, I know you got a match in the morning there, Chris.
No, I'm not shooting tomorrow.
Oh, you're not?
No, I just gotta get some stuff finished up. So we got some trash out in the cans in the garage. I'm gonna take them to my dumpster for my business and get the trash out of here, and then get the yard mowed. I was gonna mow today, and I'm like, I'm gonna wait till tomorrow because I won't be able to mow it for like 8 days. So I'm gonna wait and mow it at the last minute.
Uncle John brings up Helen's when it blew in 1980. That was it March 15th, 1980? May have been April. It's one of those 2 months, March or April. I was born later that year. I think it was April. I think I was born about 8 months after it blew up. So,
What year was that? 80, you said?
yeah, 1980.
I'd have been 6 years old.
And everybody across the United States got to feel the aftermath of Helen's going off with ash fallout spreading across, shut down air traffic for like 3 days.
There's another situation. Didn't it happen in Greenland too? That lasted like 6 months or something like that.
I'm not.
I remember a couple years back that had an incident like that in Greenland where there was an ash cloud and they couldn't even fly over that area, over the Atlantic.
What was the one that went off? I was watching a show. I was watching it with my fiance. She was watching that show, the Queen or whatever. I don't know. It was on Netflix, but over there in England, there was one that went off, and there was a school at the bottom of it killed everyone in that school. It killed all those kids. I'm going to guess that would have probably happened back in I don't know, 60s, maybe 50s, 60s. That was a bad one.
Pompeii in Rome.
Yeah, but we're talking. That was
another
Yeah,
bad one.
This hasn't been that long ago.
1960s you're talking about, huh?
Yeah, volcano. I'll look that up. Yeah, that was sad when that happened.
I know when Helen's erupted, it killed quite a few people. I think it wiped out 2 towns.
What?
St. Helens when it erupted. Like, how many people did it kill? The wife's like, I don't know. But yeah.
Maybe it wasn't. I think I'm wrong on that. I'm trying to think. I just remembered seeing, because I was about half paying attention. Something happened. They were doing something over there, and I don't know, I'm looking it up.
So, are either one of you guys looking at any new firearms to add to
Not
the
at the
collection?
Not at the moment.
I'm still chasing the 320 X10.
Right now I got surplus fever. I'm trying to find stuff I probably want.
Smeg G is out there talking mad crap, saying the Smeggy Cave was way better.
You mean the dog is always coming back and forth in your live streams?
Hey, the dogs are awesome. Yes, the woman, I'm ready.
It blew on May 18th.
May 18th, 1980, and killed 57 people. So there you go.
Yep. You know, a G23.
Yep.
I had a crazy idea. You know, we've been having this thing now where people are wanting to transition from gas-powered cars to electric. All right, say if we did do that, what are we going to do with all the billions of batteries then? You're going to toss them into a volcano?
Well, so there are some companies out there. I know Nissan and Toyota are actually working on a plan to use the batteries. So once, because the federal government only allows the batteries to be used in vehicles for X amount of years, but they're still usable after that point. So they're looking at then cycling that into like you being able to use that to power your house.
I mean, you still got a lot of waste, though. That's the thing.
And then after it's no longer usable there, it would then go to a recycling company to be recycled and put back into, new batteries.
But you know my point is it's still technically not green. You know what I mean?
Well, nothing's truly green. I mean, you go hydroelectricity, which would be one of your greenest ways of producing energy,
Mm-hmm.
and you still are, harming the water because, again, you can't make it 100% clear of any kind of waste. And then you have to reroute your fish and everything so that they can bypass your dams. So then you have to put in fish ladders and stuff like that. So things change, but we've been using hydroelectricity for forever. I mean, you look at Hoover Dam, you look at Rocky Reach Dam. There's so many different dams that are out there that are actually producing electricity. And
you mean water power?
Hydropower.
Hydro. Yeah.
So yeah, they're all out there producing. So they're
I mean, I could see that.
All right, so I missed the whole. What guns did you guys say you were looking forward to?
I'm still, if I don't, no one tell the wife is next to me, but if I can find the 320 X10.
Yeah, I want that one. I really want that new Walther 22 mag.
Me, if I was going to pick another 22, I would probably get a Sturmgewehr 22.
Which one?
It's a Sturmgewehr. You know the SCG 44 MP 44. They
Yeah.
actually made one for 22.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, since we can't really get the original documents and blueprints of actually building another one. I mean, there's companies making them, but they're not easy to put together.
Yeah.
It's an old German World War II relic.
Yep.
Yeah, there's going to be an expensive year buying guns because there's three
Money,
coming
man.
out. I want to get the PDP Pro. I want to get that new Walther 22 mag, and I think I'm definitely going to get a 320 and 10 millimeter. That's going to be pretty cool.
Yep.
I've only shot a 40, but I never shot a 10 mil.
Well, right now, most of your production 10 mil ammo is just an extended case 40. It's,
I can agree with that. They make it, unless you buy like Buffalo Bore and that stuff.
Underwood.
kind of a round you got to reload if you want to get it to its max potential.
Well, even if you're buying buffalo bore, Underwood, or any of those that are actually doing a proper 10 mil, those are still at probably your lower end of your powders, because again, liability, they don't want to put out something that's actually going to be pushing that round down range. So with reloading yourself, you can bump up and run more of middle of the ground, still be safe, and still be having a nice round flying down range. And the nice thing is with that 10 mil, any projectile that's done for your 40 cal, you can run in that 10 mil case.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to run a 120 grain projectile coming out of that 10 mil case, man, if you're running, say you're running 10 grains, that thing is going to be screaming. You're probably talking, I don't know, close to 2,000 feet per second.
Yeah. We got Vanessa Kitty's out there with us.
Yep, Miss Vanessa Kitty. And Rich White says even 40 isn't loaded to its max. But yeah, I mean,
Chris Winsett said he's working on a couple budget component AR-15 SPR builds. That is cool.
Speaking of ARs, G23. You ever been on PSA before?
Nope.
Why not?
Why do I want to support a company that lies about their warranty process?
No, it's kind of a hard one for people that are buying AKs off them.
Yep. I just won't. I mean, if it was a one and done kind of thing, and hey, we had a screw up and we fixed that, you could probably overlook that. But when
you talking about Guns and Barbecue?
No, there's more than just him that they've done that to. Way more than just him. So
I haven't bought a whole lot of stuff from them, but I've never had an issue with anything. I've bought a lot of triggers from when they'll have a lot of trigger sales throughout the year. I'll stock up on drop-in triggers.
There's a gun I was looking at. It's actually something that's neat, and I kind of actually like it. It's crossed between an AR, but it's has the bolt system of an AK. I'm trying to find it here.
So we got Mr. Kingpin out there, and exactly what he says, screw PSA, I stand with barbecue.
Why screw PSA when you be fixing them? Just hate the company or the gun itself?
The thing is when if it's an actual PSA built firearm or even PSA parts that end up building that, if something goes wrong, you are not going to know if they're going to back that warranty. So why would you want to run that risk when there's so many other companies out there that have a way better policy and that they'll stand behind?
Yeah, I don't.
Trying to find that rifle.
Miss Gunpowder Beauty is out there. Wow.
Oh boy, here she comes.
Weston Probst is out there.
Yeah, I bet she's gonna hop on here. I'm betting on it.
She might. She might not. There's PNW says I did name my PSA dagger Johnny to honor barbecue.
So I think Big Dre's about to release his line of ARs. I think they're done. Remember when he was talking to us about that on the chat, G?
Yeah, after it was the after chat he had.
Yeah, I think he's about got him ready to go. So that's pretty exciting. What's up, Artac?
So yeah. So it happens. 223 DMR is out there. Welcome, bud.
What's going on, 223?
What's going on, Artac? You decide better late than never?
Yeah, better late than never.
I figured it was in protest that I didn't send you the link till the very last minute.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Well, you can ban me next Saturday because I gotta close next Saturday night. So.
Oh. Well, glad for the permission because I was already going to ban you next Saturday.
Oh, okay, good.
All right, I found it here. 23. It's the PSA Jackal.
Yeah.
I kind of like that actually.
Talking about that 5.7 pistol they're making.
And it was only 9 rounds, by the way, not 11 rounds.
It's PSA Jackal.
I like
Yeah.
that Warsaw. That's pretty cool.
It has a bolt carrier of a AK, but it has the bolt system of an AR. Kind of a cross between a SCAR and an AK.
Yeah, so it's a bastardized weapon.
I knew that was coming.
Dude, you know how many piston-driven ARs and systems are out there, dude? It's not even funny, dude.
Yep.
Hell, even SIGs have made a copy of the AK system.
Well, yeah, because it runs flawless.
They got to be getting pretty close to releasing that, I would think, don't they, Artac?
Who's that?
The PSA, the new 5.7.
5.7. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's already
5.7.
appeared in their sales emails. For like, I think, I want to say $500.
I think they had it down there at the gathering. I think. I don't know if anybody. I can't remember if anybody shot it or not. I don't remember. I don't remember if they were letting people shoot it or they were just showing it to people. I'm not sure.
I definitely like the idea of it. It's I think it's like almost $200 cheaper than the Rugers.
I'd spend the $200 more.
I don't know. It depends.
I would.
I'm gonna wait till 5.7 ammo goes down first. before
Well,
I
yeah.
buy one.
But I don't know. I would still spend the $200 more.
I'm already getting into a boutique caliber that might bite me in the ass later on in the years.
Oh, it's
With
going
that-
to.
Probably it's that 8.6 Blackout. I've got what I need to build one.
I'm just saying it's going to.
I know it is.
It,
I don't know if I want. I just don't know if I want to get into another caliber like that.
so, Miss Vanessa says what? There, Chris?
She's got a question. She wants to know what shotgun action I can install in a chassis.
Ruger 500?
Probably going to be best. Probably 870 is going to be your best route for that. I got an 870 bullpup. It's pretty wild looking. Wish we could show guns on here. Can't.
There's one gun that I actually do like. It was the one from John Wick. What was it? It was that shotgun he was basically using against the Russian mobster leader. I remember what it was. KSG. It was a KSG.
I have a KSG. I love that KSG. That bullpup. I know a lot of people say, "Oh, with that action where it is, if you have a catastrophic failure, you know what? If you have a catastrophic failure with most firearms, especially rifles, with your face that close to the firearm, it's not going to be a good day." I'm just saying.
I mean, where's KSG located? If you don't mind me asking.
Huh?
The company KSG. Where's they located? What state?
Cocoa Beach, Florida.
No kidding.
Caltech?
Yep. Cocoa
Yeah.
Beach, Florida. And you know what else? Here's the reason why you support Caltech. You buy a Caltech, and if they change anything in any of their firearms, so like if you have a KSG and then the next year they realize, you know what, we can put a little better spring kit in and make the trigger way nicer, or we can do something to alter the way the safety works or whatever. If Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen 3, that very next generation, or even if you have a Gen 1 and say all of a sudden you like all the upgrades that they do on Gen 5, you can send that firearm back. They will do all the upgrades to the newest generation and send it back to you for free. So, yes, I definitely do like, the Caltech, even though a lot of people don't like that company. And I'm not going to say that every one of their products comes out the greatest. A lot, some they come up with great concepts. The execution may not always be the greatest on Gen 1. But like I said, if they figure something out and they change whatever, you can send your firearm in and have it upgraded, and they will do it for free.
I can say one thing. They figured out how to make a 16-round magazine work for 22 long rifle where Glock can't.
Mm-hmm.
What was that pistol they were making, or rifle? It was KSG. It was like an MP7 clone or something like
Sub 2000?
that. No, it wasn't that. It was. Let me see.
You're
I'm
talking
looking it up
about
right now.
they make a 5.7 pistol.
Oh yeah, that
Puppy power.
the 57.
Okay.
Hold on a second. I'm looking for it.
Yeah, I don't remember the exact.
Caltech CP33.
Oh yeah, that's the what 22 long rifle.
Yeah, quad stack 33-round magazine.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to have one of those actually someday.
Those things are nice. I've shot them. They're kind of, the grip is kind of weird, but yeah, they're pretty smooth. Okay, well, I guess we were talking Caltech, and Rob's like, "Fuck this, I'm out of here."
Go on, Outcast. Get your butt back up here.
PA reloaders out there, welcome.
I'm telling you what, though, that Sub 2000 is a super reliable gun, and it's pretty cool how you can fold it in half. I got to give them credit on that. I love mine.
I have one. I had to send mine back for the barrel replacement recall.
Yeah.
And
I admit, I didn't have that issue with mine. Now, I did do all the M Carbo upgrades on mine because I shot mine in the first year I was in the USPSA. So the dumbest thing you did with that gun, though, was putting that polymer feed ramp in there. I never understood that. That was the first thing I took out of it. Put a stainless one in it.
Before I sent mine, well, see, mine didn't burst on me. I probably had 1,000 rounds through it before the recall came out, and I sent it back, and then I went immediately took it to the range and make sure it shot the same way.
Oh, I got
It did. So I'm
Bending Ballistics and Rob D that want to come in, but their devices say they're not connected. There we go. We got Bending Ballistics. So welcome, Bending Ballistics.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Sorry I'm late. We literally just got out of day one of our match, so
So
I'm
Yeah,
driving
I
back
told
to the
G you were
hotel.
at a match.
what do you what competition are you shooting?
It's a PRS match over in North Carolina.
Long range?
Yeah. I do long range and extreme long range matches and national 3-gun matches.
So I know Chris and I were talking about this before we went live. And we were talking about kind of maybe going over some of your process of what do you do for like setup when like prep for the day before or even a couple days before any of your competitions.
Like, what do you mean? Like, my mental preparedness or my just what do I do to get ready kind of thing?
Yeah, kind of both. Your mental and your physical prep. You know, are you taking into accountability for like humidity, temps that are supposed to be there for like setting up your reloads and stuff like that? Or are you running?
So I'm a little bit different when it comes to my reloading. So I have loads that I use for specific times of the year based on where I live. So I'm in Kentucky. So Kentucky, the humidity here is very applicable to what's in Florida. So when I develop a load here, if I go anywhere, let's say in the southeast, the humidity in Kentucky is pretty stout. So when I develop a load here based on my humidity here, like let's say I'm testing my load, it's 85 degrees here and the humidity is 68%, 70%, 75%, whatever have you. If I'm not getting pressure signs here, I know that extra 5% of humidity isn't going to cause pressure, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, is that kind of what you're asking, or are you?
Yeah. That
Okay.
and, mental preparation. Because I know
So,
mental prep for like long range is going to be different than like going mental prep for going into like USPSA or any of your like IDPA.
so I've got 3 rules that I go by when I go to a match. Don't forget my rifle at home, which I have done before. Make sure I've got magazines. Go and have fun and don't come in last. So really 4 rules, but but we'll count the don't forget your bag and your rifle at home as 1. I've done that before. I've gone all the way to Michigan before for a PRS match and just assumed that, oh, hey, my rifle's in the truck. I already know where it is. Fuck, my rifle's not here. I mean, it happens. We're all human. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's just like going to a 3-gun match or a USPSA match. Somebody is bound to forget their magazine at home or their ammo at home. And that's why now, like, I carry 2 extra rifles with me. I always keep a gas rifle with me, and I always keep an extra bolt action rifle with me when I go to matches in case somebody's rifle goes down, somebody's ammo for their rifle, like they're getting extreme pressure signs. I've been reloading for competitive matches for 15 years. So I've got my load data's pretty down to the grain, if that makes sense.
So what are you
For my
shooting?
specific rifles.
So what are you shooting, Bending?
So it depends. I run a 6GT, which is a 6 Gran Turismo. It's the new cartridge that Hornady just semi-spec, but in the Wildcat cartridge, it's been around for a long time. Then I shoot a 6 Dasher,
Okay.
which is the 6BRX or the 6BR Bintrust. It's a Wildcat of that. And then I also shoot a 6.5 Needmore. So it really depends on where I'm at. If I'm somewhere, like let's say if I'm, I don't know, we'll use Colorado for example. They have very thin air in Colorado. I need something that's going to move a little bit slower, so I'm going to run the 6.5 Creedmoor, because the 6 Dasher and the 6 GT are just screaming out of barrels. Even as heavy as the air is here, it still screams out of a barrel. So I need something that moves a little bit slower in thin air. So based on where I'm going, bases on what I'm shooting.
I know a little bit about what you do because a couple years ago, I used to help run the UBR matches, the Ultimate Bintrust.
Mhm.
So I've got to shoot some of those guys' guns. I've got to shoot a 6BR. That's a pretty cool gun.
Super minimal recoil in that cartridge. I mean, very minimalistic recoil.
Yeah, I've never competed in it. I've just got to know those guys real well. I used to run targets for them, is what I would do. So like they'd come out 1 month and they would shoot at 100 and 200 yards. Then they would come back the next month and shoot 300 and 400.
Yeah, well, so that's kind of more of the F-class style of stuff, which F-class and PRS and ARL, they all go together in some sense of the matter. So in some sense, they all do go together. But in other senses, they all don't go together, if you know what I mean.
Right.
Your load development and your fundamentals, no matter what, transition between all of them. No matter what division you're shooting, they all transition together, and buying Gucci equipment doesn't buy skill or accuracy, if that makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
That's been one of the hardest things for me to get through to a lot of new shooters is just because you see me running a $5,000 rifle doesn't mean you need to go buy a $5,000 rifle.
Right.
I've got a lot of years doing this and a lot of sponsorships that provide me with equipment that I need. So
you mean if you're running a $5,000 rifle, I shouldn't go get a $10,000 rifle just so that I can say my rifle costs more?
I mean, just because it costs more doesn't mean it's more accurate or more reliable inherently than said individuals that's a $2,000 rifle. I competed for years with a $1,000 Aero Precision gas rifle in 308 and would hold my ground with guys running bolt actions.
So what distances are you shooting at the match you're at right now?
So our furthest is 1250.
Man. Never been past 400 yards.
Really?
No.
Getting past 1,000 or getting to 1,000 is easy. Getting past 1,100 is easy. Where you start getting some struggles with cartridges and stuff like that is about that 1,200 to 1,300 mark. Especially with like your 6mm and your 6.5s. Yeah, they fight the wind pretty good. I won't argue that by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah,
So
the
you
only
lose so
range
much energy.
Yeah, we don't have a range around. It's about a 2-hour drive to get to anything further than a 400-yard range around here. So, but
where are you at in
shot
Ohio?
400. I'm right in the middle. I'm in a town called Marion, about 50 miles north of Columbus.
There's a range that we go to in Ohio that's near Columbus. I don't know if it's a guy's private property or what, but you should look up the Ohio Still Plate Challenge, the Ohio PRS Still Plate Challenge.
Yeah, I know they do the. I got a buddy of mine which he's retired now, but he used to be a sniper for the State Highway Patrol, and they shoot at a place called Thunder Valley. I know it's over 1,000.
That might be where it's at, is there in Thunder Valley.
Yeah.
So,
go ahead.
what would be your opinion on like 6 arc for going out at 1,000 yards, 1,200 yards?
I'm flirting with the idea of a 6mm arc. I have a barrel that I'm about to cut for a 6mm arc for a gas rifle. I have the barrel blank, I have the reamer, I have the dies, I have the brass, I have the projectiles, I have the powder and the primers. I'm flirting with it quite a bit, if that makes sense. I haven't bit the bullet yet.
Yeah, because I've really been looking at 6 arc.
I mean, it's a very efficient cartridge. You take anything like the 6 arc, the 6 Creedmoor, the 6.5 Creedmoor, the 7 Psalm, 6.5 Grendel, 6 Grendel, etc., etc. That 30-degree shoulder bump is a very efficient shoulder bump for creating tons of pressure at the beginning and allowing it to feed the momentum of that projectile to evenly disperse speed all the way out. There's a lot of guys that compete with that 6 arc. I haven't yet, but there's a lot of guys that do, and they swear by it. So
Uncle John says,
Rich had a great comment out there. He said, we need to get Bending Ballistics and AWAG together. That would be an awesome chat right there. Get these two.
And you got to throw in Ghost Tactical, because Ghost Tactical is just getting into long-range shooting. He went and bought a Bagheera. I think it's a 6.5 Creed that he's using for some long-range. I think Tactical Fed also has started trying to put his feet into long range. With
long range is my game, man. Like, don't get me wrong. I love 3-gun. I mean, that's what really got me into shooting competitively at the levels I shoot at, is 3-gun. But there's just a whole different art about stretching a firearm cartridge out to a mile and just impacting. I mean, there's just something about it. I don't know how to explain it. Hearing that ping come back.
I was really thinking about the 417 round, but then all of a sudden I started hearing more and more about the 6 arc. This was pretty much a few years ago when 6 arc was just kind of making its debut, and I'm like, maybe holding off on that 417 and getting more data on this and stuff would be a better way of going about it. Because I mean, you're talking a 417 rifle. There's I think only one company that's making a 417 rifle.
Are you talking about the 417 Raptor?
No, it's Barrett does the 417 because for the people that are running in California, because they can't have a 50 BMG. They can't have anything that's a half-inch diameter, so they took a 50 and necked it down. So
you got the 416 Barrett, and
yes, 416.
And then you have the 408 Chi-Tech. You have the 460 Raptor, the 375 H&H. there's so many, if you're talking extreme long range, of what one is capable of doing. My extreme range rifle is a 416 Barrett and a bolt action. I love it. I love shooting the 416 Barrett. I don't know, it's its own animal to tame.
Yeah, that Barrett M107 in a 416.
Mhm.
That would be. But you're also talking what? That's about like
$11,000 rifle.
8,000. I think you can pick up one for about 8,000.
Yeah, 8 to 11 depends on what your FFL gets it for, I guess.
Plus, if it has a scope on it, or no scope, that also adds a couple $1,000.
Yeah, and that's the other thing that people have to realize. If you're wanting to get into the PRS side of things or the NRL side of things, there's price cutoffs to divisions that you shoot in. So, and I kind of bounce between multiple divisions throughout the year. Because I get bored with one division, I go to another. I get bored with one rifle, I go to another kind of thing. When I'm glutton for punishment, I go to a 308 and run tactical, because the restrictions on tactical, your rifle can only weigh so much, and this, that, and the other. So there's some punishment that you're sitting with there of just recoil management.
I put a link out to Bending Ballistics channel, so if you guys aren't subscribed, get over there and subscribe. And Chris Winsett did subscribe to your channel, Bending Ballistics. I thought I'd let you know that.
Just a fair warning to everybody, I have not uploaded in probably a month now. I shoot 41 matches a year, so matches take priority over YouTube for myself. So I'm going to be brutally honest with that. Matches are the top of my priority list of things. So when I don't upload for a long time, it's not that I'm not wanting to, it's that it goes into that whole mental preparedness type thing. Like, one of my biggest things is music, so that helps me really mentally prepare for what I'm doing at matches. So, but I'll get to uploading more here soon. It's a little difficult. Some of these matches, guys don't want you recording them, shooting, and they don't want to be in your video and stuff like that. So, you got to respect people's privacy and things like that. So, that's kind of one of my big hindrances right now.
G-Web's had a great comment out there too. He said, in my opinion, the worst part of 1,000-yard shooting is dealing with practice targets. It takes a long time to check targets by yourself. I remember we used to go out and take my 224 Valkyrie out to shoot at the 400-yard range. Man, I dreaded going down and picking up those targets and bringing them back.
Why aren't you shooting steel at that distance?
We had some steel set up down there, finally, but we had to get permission from the range. They finally put some out for us.
That would be my biggest thing, is why is it steel down there? Because nobody... So the private range that I shoot on here, where a lot of my videos have taken place, it's completely private range, but it goes out to a mile. That's what we have available to shoot at distances. And we have steel all the way out. Granted, when I'm shooting there, generally I'm the only one there, so I will walk the range. But it's complete private property, private range.
Right.
So it's not public.
So you probably just go down one time and get everything painted up and then start shooting, don't you?
That's if I paint it. Sometimes I don't bother to paint it. I do some unknown distances matches where you have to find targets, like the sniper shootout. I do that match where it's cover concealment, find your target type match, and by the time these targets start getting shot up, you can't see the paint on them anyway, so you kind of gotta find your target at the distance.
Wow.
So, G-Web says here in Tucson, the 1,000-yard matches use cardboard/paper, so we shoot at paper.
There's a lot of F-class that goes on out in Arizona. So I wonder if he's shooting on one of the F-class ranges down there.
Yeah.
F-class is really big in Arizona, Utah, Nevada, northern Texas, Oklahoma. F-class is huge out there.
Probably out on the entire West Coast because we got a lot of long distance being able to shoot,
And a lot of it's open desert too, isn't it?
In certain areas, yeah, or mountains.
I know when we go to New Mexico for matches, it's right there in the mountains. So that's a very difficult match. It's probably one of the hardest matches I've shot in my life. Is out in at the Williamson Center there at the NRA Center there in New Mexico.
G-Web says he doesn't know what F-class is. Can you explain that to us, Bending Ballistics?
So F-class is like a bench rest style of shooting. Everything is prone.
Okay.
And you see guys that have rifles locked into ARCA lead sleds or just generalized lead sleds. I shoot some F-class personally myself because I've had F-class guys talk mad trash to PRS guys saying that they can't compete with them because we do all this positional stuff and they're just shooting from prone. So I've answered them back a few different times and went and shot with my sandbags and my bipod and held my own with them.
Yeah, those guys that shot in those EBR matches, they had all these fancy sleds they had their guns in.
Yeah, and then you get some guy like myself that's out there with a bipod and a sandbag shooting shot for shot with you.
Yeah.
But it's all fundamentals. Like, that's the biggest thing on my channel that I am all about is fundamentals. Like, I don't know how to explain how much fundamentals truly matter in long range, but it's something pretty serious. Like, fundamentals are very key at long range. I practice with the 22. 22 is like my number one practice rifle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've heard that from a lot of guys that do what you do, that they practice with 22s.
Well, because it really exposes your weak points of what you need to improve on, whether it be, i.e., positionally, or it be fundamentally. It really exposes all that type of stuff.
So, what keeps me from really doing like long range competition, besides the wife killing me for spending that kind of money on a rifle, would be I'm cross-eye dominant. So even running a rifle, I'm having to use my left eye to try looking through the scope while squeezing with my right hand.
So this might sound like a shocker, but I'm completely blind in one eye, so that I don't think that's a viable excuse not to get out and try it. If that makes sense.
Oh yeah, I mean, I will shoot long distance for fun, but I've never.
Even if you come in dead last, man, like just go have fun. The knowledge that you'll gain from, because there's people like myself that will say, "Hey, try this instead of that," that are willing to help you. Granted, just like anything, whether it's USPSA, IPSC, 3-gun, PRS, ERL, NRL, NRL 22, it doesn't matter. There's always going to be those said groups of individuals that are going to be like, nah, I'm not helping you, man. We're here to compete.
Yeah,
But for the most part,
you're gonna have that in anything, you know. Even if you just go to the range, you know, and say you're a new person and you're trying, you know, there's people at the range that will be like, I ain't helping anyone. I'm here to do what I need to do and get out of here, you know. And no one wants to stop, you know. It's like, you know, go spend 5 minutes with this person to make them safer or make them feel more confident. If that's what it takes, you know, I don't see the problem with that.
well, and that's kind of what I'm saying. And I don't want to toot my own horn or anything like that, so please don't take it that way. But I've got national championships that hang on my wall that I could care less about. And it's one of those things, like I don't care about them. Like I don't care that I won a national championship and stuff like this. I just go and have fun. And I think that's my biggest thing with it that bothers me with certain shooters are like myself that will help anybody. But you've always got those select few that don't want to help anybody. Hell, I've let people, when their rifles have gone down in the middle of a stage and they get a reshoot on that stage, I've let them shoot my ammo that shorted me on the entire match where they could shoot a stage, because I would rather drop 10 shots and not be able to shoot a stage than I would for somebody to get discouraged. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah. So we got Mark Thomas that's jumped in out in the crowd. Welcome, bud. Artak, you have any questions for him?
No.
Chris, you got any more questions on the competition side or reloading side?
I learned a lot.
Oh yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah, learned a lot. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, and I mean, even on the reloading side of things, I load completely on a progressive press. I've got single stage presses that if I'm doing a load development, I run on a single stage, but generally I load everything on a progressive press. Just churn and burn. That's kind of my thing with it.
I'm looking to see if anyone out in the crowd is asking any questions.
G-Web said, if you're shooting a match and a 9mm shooter has a failure, you're only encouraging bad behavior if you help them.
I agree to disagree with that on certain attributes.
No, he's making a joke. He literally hates 9mm.
No, so a lot of people get that misconception about G. So he uses the 9mm, and he even has said it in a few live streams. You know, like when you start getting people like into the caliber wars, or like you got people arguing over, oh well, you know, 40 is better than, anything in the world, whatever, or 9mm is king, or you should go buy a Glock or whatever. If they're arguing manufacturer or
Oh, I
caliber,
remember I bought out.
and he's like, yeah, well, caliber 9mm sucks. That's kind of like his little snide, remark.
I get a lot of slack from a lot of guys in the 3-gun world over my pistol that I run, so I understand. I catch a lot of slack from guys over that.
Well, like for me, my main reason I run 9mm is capacity in my matches, and all I got to do is put a hole through a piece of cardboard. So,
Well, and the loads that you can develop for a 9mm, so we can even go into that a little bit. My 9mm loads are running 850 feet per second with a 124 grain projectile.
mm-hmm.
That is just my comp load. That's not my everyday carry load or anything like that. That's literally just to go punch cardboard, go punch steel, whatever have you. By no stretch of imagination I guess I would use it for a self-defense if it had to be used for a self-defense, but it's not going to be my choice.
Right.
Because that load's just going to piss somebody off. But now my 147 grain loads that I've worked up for 9mm for everyday carry, without a doubt. But that's kind of my thing that's why I guess the shooting environment of competitiveness, or the competitiveness of the shooting environment, you can kind of talk to people about their load developments, their loads that they're running, like what's feet per second are you running, how close to the 825 minimum speed are you, and what can I shave here to make me a little faster, or what can I do there to make me a little faster, so on and so forth. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, like, I run a Canic, and Canic gets a lot of grief from a lot of people, but Century Arms has always taken care of me when I signed my contract with them.
I very rarely shoot carry optics, but when I do, I run a Canic. I love my Canics.
I mean, Century Arms makes a hell of a or imports, not even makes, just imports a hell of a pistol from Turkey with that pistol.
Yeah, when I went and picked that belt up yesterday from my local gun store, he had both the new rivals, the black or the dark side edition and the gray and gold one. And
which one'd you get?
I didn't. I've already got the TP9 SFX, and I've done a ton of work on it. So, the only thing I would like to have is that left-handed slide release that they didn't put on the TP9 SFX.
Gotcha. I've got a complete custom TP9 V2 that when I first signed up with Century, I was running just loaner pistols from guys. I mean, when I first got into 3-gun, you got to think, I was a poor college kid. I didn't have the money to go spend $500, $600, $700 on a pistol or anything like that. Like Century just, I don't know if it was kind of one of those things where they saw me shooting just everybody's firearms, like just using loaners from everybody, or what. That was like, this guy just wants to compete. I'm not exactly sure. But when they picked me up, they supplied me with a absolute custom V2 TP9.
Nice.
That was a long time ago. Hell, I think that model is discontinued now.
Yeah. That was the first. I can't remember what the first one was I had. I think it was the TP9SA, I think, is the very first one I had.
Yeah.
And then I went from that to the SFX. I
Now,
do like the Rival. I like the grip on the PDP better. And that's the only reason I'm kind of holding off, waiting on the PDP Pro to come out. If that gun wasn't coming out, I would buy the Rival.
Gotcha. I'm kind of excited, and I wish they would release this. Canik apparently makes a 50 BMG. Did you know that?
No.
They revealed it at the NRA show.
Oh,
I was
wow.
like, are you kidding me right now? All this time, you've only offered us a 9mm. Where's your 50 BMG?
Yeah, I would like to have a Canik either in 10 or 45.
So they used to make a 40 cal Canik. It was called the Canik Shark, I think is what it was. I might be mistaken on the name on it. But they made a 40 cal at one time. And they discontinued it. No, I don't know if that's because of the Turkish military or what, because they are the big supplier of pistols to the Turkish military, so that is one of their big contracts right there. So I'm not exactly sure what happened with it or anything, but if you can find one, it's a unicorn.
They make several in 40. They make a Model 100 and a Model 1 P120 and a TP40 VZ.
Now maybe they just can't get the import on it here in the United States. I don't know.
That's probably it. It doesn't have enough points, or it's got too many points.
Yeah, I don't know. But so give me just a second. I did just get back to my hotel, and I got to get my crazy dog. So he's about to go crazy. So give me just a moment. What are you doing, Zeus? Get down. So got a husky, so he goes with me to all my matches and everything like that. He's my little buddy.
James Pugh out there said he'd like to see Canik make a 40. I think we'll probably see a 10mm from them before we would see a 40.
I wish they would import one of their 40s here. Oh, hush. But I don't know that they will necessarily. I wish they would. But who knows?
If Canik brought a 40, I would probably buy a Canik at that point.
Really? Well, like I said, I know the Canik Shark. I think that's what it was called, was the Shark. Used to be imported here. And every once in a very blue moon, you'll find one on the used market. But the other hindrance is finding a magazine for it. Like I said, I might be very...
That was their CZ clone, wasn't it?
I believe so. What was their Walther clone? I'm not exactly sure.
The one I seen, the CZ100 and the P120 were both CZ75 clones.
Yeah, the Shark is 100% a CZ clone. I'm looking at a bunch of them here.
Yeah, if you could find one on the used market here, I think that was one of their first pistols that they ever imported here was the CZ or the Canik Shark, but being able to find one now on a used market that's not just completely worn out might be a little difficult. I've only seen one myself, and that was one of our reps that had one. But are any of you guys big into the 22 or anything like that?
I like 22. Not say I'm a huge like shooting it all the time, but I do enjoy going out and shooting 22 from time to time.
So, what's your furthest shot with the 22?
400 yards.
Okay, that's what I was about to say. On one of my videos, I have one on there where I stretched it out to 400 yards. Now I do have a 22 world record coming up here in about 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks actually, for 22 out to 1,200 yards.
I think I've seen a couple of videos of people that have put 22s at 900 or 1,000 yards.
The world record is 1,003. I'm going to shatter it and go 1,200. And I've impacted at 1,200 once already.
Wow.
I've got some super high performance 22 that I worked with the guys over at Ely with, just to be able to do it. So it's extremely potent 22 that I'm going to do it with.
That would be awesome to see a video on.
Oh yeah. Now that I'm going to kind of turn it into as many videos as I can type thing, like the mental preparation of it, the calling of the shots, the practice, everything. But the Ely 22 that they sent me, it's running. So they sent me a case of it, which was 1,000 rounds. I've chronoed them. It's chronoing at 2675 feet per second. So, I mean, it's a screaming 22 round. Couldn't tell you how they got it that fast, but it's screaming. So, it'll be fun. I mean, it's pushing 22 mag speeds.
Yeah, that definitely sounds pretty interesting to. I mean, think about how much trial and error has to go into that to be able to make that even like half-ass possible.
Well, I mean, if you're even talking on the powder charge alone, a standard 22 powder charge with just generalized, we'll just say they're using Varget, which we all know they're not using Varget, but let's just say they're using Varget. You're talking 2.8 grains of powder of max capacity just with Varget. So I'm not exactly sure what powder they're using. I want to say it's a Vitivori powder. But I mean, the granule size that you would have to be able to pack in there.
I mean, that'd have to be like an extremely fast burning powder, you would think. I mean, because you need to be, and we lost bending ballistics. Damn it. But yeah, you'd have to have, I mean, you'd have to be able to get that pressure right then and there because your case length isn't very long. And to be able to get that kind of pressure to build up to push that round down range would have to be pretty impressive. Hopefully we get him back, you know.
That'd be something to see.
Yeah. I mean, I thought I was doing good when I hit a 400-yard target.
I don't think I've ever shot a 22 at 400 even. Now maybe I'll have to try that.
Try your cowboy at 400 yards.
I've shot 500 yards before. So
Yep.
What was the deal with that 22 mag?
The cylinder
Mine?
sucks balls.
Yeah, with yours, Chris, because they didn't release it with a 22 cylinder. That's something you got to add to it. Or with the 22 mag, I mean.
Oh, the mag cylinder. Yeah, I bought that off their website, but we got the CCI Stingers to shoot really well out of it. When I get back home, I'll probably take it to the range and I want to try the Federal punches through it, see how they do. I've got some high-end 22 rounds down there that I just haven't shot yet through it. I'll make a few more videos with it, but yeah, I'm done with the 22 mag. I'm not even gonna mess with that anymore. But
Mark says better off throwing the tactical cowboy itself than trying to
using
hit.
it for a hatchet. Yeah, I wish that I don't know. I mean, it's fine. It's just it's still fun to just go shoot it. The thing's stupid looking, so it definitely turns heads at the range when I bring it out.
The only thing that matters is that your son likes it.
Yep, he loves it.
I don't know what happened. My phone has been glitching out since I did my last update. So sorry about that.
That's all right. It could have just overheated.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I do know I want to try those CCI Stingers and some of my other 22s now, though, after seeing them how well they shoot out of that tactical cowboy. I haven't run those through my TX22 competition. I want to run them through that. I'm betting they're going to shoot really well out of it.
I've been really considering getting the SIG 22 pistol just to practice pistol with. But I've seen a lot of hindrances with that pistol.
I would 100%. If somebody wanted to ask me what I think is the best 22 semi-auto pistol out right now, it's definitely the TX22 competition.
I've heard some very good stuff about that pistol.
Yeah, I love mine. Absolutely love it.
I've seen a lot of people praising that SIG P322, saying how reliable it is, but then I've seen a couple that say that they've had some mag issues. So I don't know.
Big Johnson probably has the best series out right now on that pistol. He did probably 8 videos on it. One of the worst parts is the magazine. There's nothing to grab it to take it out. So, like, it'll drop free. But if you have any kind of jam, which he had a couple, there's no way to get your fingers up in there to rip the mag out. It was a really bad design on their part.
Well,
now, which an extended magazine or a base plate or something would take care of that. But you'd think that SIG would have been like, oh, well, you can't pull the mag out.
Well, you got to think too, these firearms manufacturers, they have been getting pounded for the past year on everybody buying 9mm and 5.56, 2.23 rifles and pistols and so on and so forth. So I'm I'm not gonna say that Sig kind of didn't drop the ball on it, but you've also got to look at the side of it of how rushed it probably was.
Well, if you listen to what their spokesperson from SIG, who does a lot of their video and talking about when firearms are being released and stuff, when they talked about the possibility of a 10mm, they said that before they even think about announcing that there's a possibility of it being released, it has to have been being tested for a year.
Well,
Well, they probably should have done that with a lot of their guns. So hopefully this is going to be right out of the box, running good. There's two things I'd have done differently with that P3, the P322. They should have cut the grip so you could rip the mags out. They should have done something different with that. And I think the worst thing he did with it was they should have made it the exact same size as the 320, and it would have made a great training gun because they've sold tons of those 320s. That would have been the two things I'd have done differently with it.
Well, I think they were targeting the 365 as a training for the 365 for the 322, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they don't look anything. I mean, that would have been awesome if they would have made it the exact same size as the 320. Then that would have made a great training gun.
well, and I agree with you because if you look at the Taurus TX22, it's the exact same size, minus the grip being a little bit shorter than the Taurus. What is it? G2C
G3.
or G3C?
Yeah.
It's the exact same size minus the grip being just a smidge shorter.
Well, if you take the Glock 44, it's the same size as a 17 or a 23. Exact same size. And yeah, I mean, of course, it's got a few problems, and most of those are magazine related also. So, and that's the thing is, semi-auto 22s. Once you start putting them double, triple, quad stacks, you really have to be careful when you're loading, due to the fact that the noses are going to want to try dropping. And you can get that in regular ammo also. So you kind of really got to make sure you're paying attention to the way your noses are. And again, tilt your mags to the back and smack them, and make sure your rounds are seating properly.
Well, do any of you guys remember the Kel-Tec PMR 30?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it had a lot of issues in the beginning. And even now, you'll still find guys that rip on the PMR 30 saying it's just a trash pistol, it's Jam City, so on and so forth. But I won one, I want to say, a week ago, 2 weeks ago, at a national 3-gun match. Kel-Tec's been trying to get their foot in the door with national 3-gun with especially in the pistol caliber carbine type stuff. They've got the sub 2000, they've got their other pistol caliber carbines, and a lot of kids run 22s at these national 3-gun matches, and so they're really trying to get their foot in the door. And so I won one, and I'd never shot one day in my life, and I picked up the phone and called a rep that I know over at CCI and got a case of 22 mag ammo straight from CCI, and I think we shot 750 rounds in it at the first day and haven't had a single issue out of it. And it ran pretty flawlessly for myself. So there's that attribute.
I can vouch for the PMR 30. I have one for now about 3 years, and I've ran close to 1,000 rounds out of it. The only time that I've ever had an issue out of it is when I wasn't paying attention loading it and I rim locked it.
Well, I think that's a lot of the issue that you're seeing with these double stack 22s, kind of like what we're talking about, is people are rim locking them because they're not. I mean, let's face reality. It's not your Ruger 1022 anymore. Like when you start getting into double stack, the Ruger 1022, the way that those magazines are double stacked in there, it forces the rounds to get in there the right way because they all feed one way. And I think that's a lot of the issue that a lot of these guys are having is they're rim locking it, not paying attention.
And then I've got the Kel-Tec P17, their little 22. I've ran range garbage 22 ammo that I found through it just to see if I can make it jam. The only thing it doesn't like is the red box or the red 100 round boxes of that Winchester black coated bullet that's got the extra crimp in the case. It doesn't like it won't eject them. That's
Nothing
the only
like
ammo that it
Winchester.
doesn't like. Yep. Like yeah, that's nothing new with Winchester, right?
Right.
And then I got KS7. It's been a pretty good shotgun so far.
Well, and a lot of it could be the extra pressure that you need to get past that double crimp. Maybe Winchester isn't bumping up enough pressure for that double crimp. I mean, it could be a multitude of things. It doesn't. I wouldn't say necessarily it's just the ammo as much as it could be pressure that's needed for that double crimp.
Well, that could be, but Winchester ammo has a history for me being junk, especially that yellow box. Go back and look at my series of the Walther and the HR 632 revolver that I got. The yellow box bolt pack was trash. I've not had real good luck out of Winchester's 22s, no matter who, what it has been, except for the 22 mags. I've never had no problem with all of those. And they're steel case. The only gun that will run Winchester steel case ammo that I have without any issues that actually likes it are both mechanics.
See, I've never had steel case run good in any of my mechanics. Never has it ever.
You get some of that damn Winchester steel case, and it'll eat them up. Both of my SF9 Elite and my Meta both will eat it up with no problem. That steel case, that same box of ammo in my Glock 17. No, we're getting feeding issues. We're getting extraction issues, all kinds of stupid shit. But not mechanics.
See, I'm not a Glock fan at all. I'm really not. I personally don't like them. It's just kind of one of those things, I guess. And I might catch a lot of crap for it, but I do not enjoy Canic or Glock at all.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing that's the great thing about, all the different options that we have out there. Just because, maybe the Glock doesn't feel good in your hand, or the grip angle doesn't, work for you, or you just don't like the company because of their politics, whatever it may be. You know what? there's another damn company out there that's probably right in that same price range that you can find and enjoy. And, I don't care if you're a CZ fanboy, if you're a Glock fanboy, if you're a SIG fanboy, the one thing I believe we all need to do is stop trying to shame people over what fucking firearm they decide they want. Because you know what? If they're going to get out there and they're going to run that high point, let them run that high point. We all may think, hey, it's garbage because it's so top heavy. But if that's what's going to get them out there shooting and out there protecting themselves, and more power to it. Let them do it.
I agree with that, except for people who think Sky are great. Those people are sick in the head.
I mean, you gotta have something for the hipsters that don't want to run CZs.
God Almighty! I started shooting bowling pin matches with my very first handgun, which was a High Point 45, and yeah, I got some grief out of it. But there was the guys with the Kimbers and the Glocks and the 1911s all shooting the same match, and they were all having feed issues occasionally, mag issues. Me and my $145 gun just plugged away all day long.
Like, everybody likes to talk shit about high points, but if any of us have learned anything from Demolition Ranch, it is that you can shove anything down a barrel of a high point and it's going to run. I mean, I'm just saying, he tried everything he could to destroy a high point.
Yeah, I've seen so many crazy things they've done with that carbine, shooting another bullet behind a squib round, and yeah, they're built like tanks, that's for sure.
The carbine, I have a High Point 9mm carbine that I bought in 1995. I still got the damn thing. It's probably got 3,000 rounds through it by now.
I've got one of the I've got the 9mm and the 10mm.
So mandatory carry says Jennings. Really? G? Yes. You know what? If you have a Jennings, if you have a any of the Ring of Fire guns, and you absolutely hate it, go ahead, send it to me, and I will definitely rehome it for you.
Well, that's how I am about so I'll give a sly little input of one of the companies that I shoot 3-gun for, and it's Anderson Manufacturing. Everybody can talk as much shit as they want about Anderson Manufacturing. I don't care. But I can tell you this, I've beat guys that shoot for Daniel Defense.
Never had one issue with an Anderson lower. Got a bunch of them.
90% of my ARs are Anderson lowers or Anderson part kits. As a Kentuckian, I will support my local home state manufacturer.
So,
where are you at, Kentucky, Artak?
Not anymore. I'm from Northern Kentucky.
Oh. Do you know where Fort Campbell is?
Yeah.
Okay, that's in my backyard.
Okay. You know where Covington is?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I'm from.
Hey, so I got a question for you. The western side of Kentucky wants to know, do y'all wear shoes over there?
Absolutely not. No one in Kentucky wears shoes.
See, when I used to work in Cincinnati, that was the thing that they always asked me. So I was really surprised I had shoes on. And I said, well, only in the wintertime.
Well, I live up to the Kentucky motto of not wearing shoes. I shoot 3-gun matches and PRS matches barefooted.
Oh, wow.
So I'm holding it down for all of us.
That's very Daniel Boone-like of you.
I was going to say, I hate wearing shoes, and my wife will attest to that. I hate wearing shoes, so if I don't have to, I'm not going to. There's times that she yells at me for kicking my shoes off in the car, even when I'm wearing just my sandals. I'll kick those off and I'll drive barefoot
That's because your feet stink.
Even if you're wearing sandals, you got all that open air. Your feet aren't stinking. But
Mm-mm.
the fact
What
is,
your wife said.
I just don't like
I can't
shoes.
stand it. I'm the same way with pants. So like jeans, not like I'll wear shorts obviously, but like jeans and sweatpants and stuff like that, I can't do it. My family gets so mad at me because when it gets cold here in the winter, I'm still walking around barefooted. If there's snow on the ground, I'm wearing flip flops because I don't want the bottom of my feet wet. And I refuse to wear blue jeans.
I
They get
haven't
so mad at me.
I haven't worn pants in over about 5 years.
TMI.
I'll wear shorts, but yeah, no, you're not going to catch me in pants. Even when they had this alleged snowmageddon around here, they got 18 inches of snow. I'm still in shorts and a freaking t-shirt and sandals, and I'm like, okay.
That's because people don't understand us big guys are insulated from cold.
My wife hates it because I put all my body heat out, so I can be like freezing cold, but like anyone within like 2 feet of me is probably sweating their ass off.
So where are you now, Artak?
30 miles north of Chattanooga.
Oh, so you're still not too. So you're near like Smoky Mountains area,
I am, yeah, well,
Knoxville, that area.
no, I'm still south, and I'm 80 miles south of Knoxville, right off 75 still.
Oh, so you're still not too far from me. You're only a couple hours from me.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just on the other side of Nashville. I'm an hour from Nashville, so
Yeah, so you're actually 3.5 hours. Because
gotcha.
you're on Central Time.
So
Yeah, I'm on the normal time.
I want to go back to a comment Rich White made quite a while back. He said that his tactical he's got a regular Heritage. He said his 20 shoots 22 mag better than 22 long rifle. And so, and Mark Thomas is having issues with his. I'm having issues with mine. So I just want to say that I think they just make a shitty gun.
What are you talking about?
Oh, we're talking about the Heritage Rough Riders.
The tactical cowboy.
Oh, okay. So I'm gonna give a little disclosure. I subscribe to a lot of firearms channels, but I don't watch firearms content on YouTube. Like, I'm gonna be brutally honest with you. I subscribe to everybody because I want everybody to get monetized, but I don't watch firearms content on YouTube. I don't enjoy it. But I want everybody to get monetized, so I subscribe to everybody's channel. If that makes sense.
Yep. Actually, most of the videos I've been putting out here lately, I don't think I've had a single firearm in them.
Like, I watch Chris's plumbing videos and stuff like that. Like, I enjoy stuff like that, like the home renovation side of it. Like when I asked you what's the best way to hook up a dehumidifier to my water drainage system or my septic system. Like, I enjoy stuff like that personally because I don't know, and it's maybe because like I'm a master armor, so I'm always around firearms. I shoot all these competitions, and I'm always around people that are always shooting competitions and always having malfunctions and stuff like that. I just don't enjoy it.
No, I get what you're saying 100%. It's like I wouldn't want to come home at night and watch plumbing videos. I do it all day long. Like, it's just not something I want to watch.
I love watching idiots on forklifts crashing into shit.
Are you forklift certified though?
Yes, I am.
So am I.
I work food manufacturing, shipping, and receiving.
Me three. I'm forklift.
Nice. I kind of work the opposite side of that. I'm an industrial engineer for a pet food manufacturer.
Hey, real quick, I want to give a shout out. Range Bros TV is with us now, and Buck is out there, Tactical Fud, saying hi to everybody. I thought he was already here. Maybe he left and came back. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
he may have had to step away for a little bit, but Mr. Tread's out there also.
Well, I was going to say,
good to
if
see
you
you,
want
Tread.
to, if you want to bring Mr. Fudd on, we can talk about like long range type stuff since he's dabbling his toes in it.
That's
Yeah, yeah. If he if he wants, he can definitely come on. He knows he has the option of coming on anytime.
I'll talk to anybody about long range, or if he wants to drop questions in the comments, we can answer his questions. Stuff like that.
I thought about getting into long range. I have the rifle to do it. I just hadn't gone to a match.
Well, how far from my area of Kentucky are you?
3.5 hours.
Okay, so that's RTAC. If you ever want to come up and shoot on the private range that I've got, after we're done, I'll exchange all my information with all of you on the backside, and you can contact me if you're ever up in this area and want to come dabble in it and get like one-on-one type, I guess. I don't even want to say it's training really, but like one-on-one type information from somebody that does this.
Counseling?
Yeah, there you go.
Instruction.
I
can never get away from these damn kids. Yeah,
dude, I get it. My daughter, she shoots 3-gun with us, so that's kind of why, like, I spread it out between 3-gun and PRS. Like, she shoots some PRS with us, but she doesn't like it. She doesn't understand dialing for dope and stuff like that, and I forced her to dial.
right.
She's old enough now that she needs to dial her own dope. But she doesn't like it because I don't babysit her. I always make sure we squad together, but when we're at a match, like, I'm not gonna say she's on her own. Like, obviously, I wouldn't let my kid like fall flat on her face on her own, but I don't help her any more than I help anybody else. How about that?
Yep, you got to treat her like any other opponent, because you help her too much. Next thing you know, she's beating you, and then she's gonna have that to say for the next 6 months. Hey, I beat Dad.
Well, she has beat me in 3-gun matches before.
Oh.
Like overall score wise, she's beat me, but and then so I kind of had to shut her up and show her who really was better, that just let you win. At another 3-gun match, when I cleaned the entire match with a 98.7% finish score, and she finished with like a 70. I was like, keep talking shit. And so
It's probably why I don't have kids, because you know what? Sometimes the trial by fire has got to be a lesson that they got to learn. Let them fall on their face, but be there to help them to get back up.
well, and that's kind of the hardest thing with her is she kind of fell into the I guess I don't even really want to say sponsorship deals that she's got, because some of them she has earned. She has very much earned her spot in some of these teams that she's qualified for. But there's other teams that I've been on that she kind of just fell into, like the Canic team. She kind of just fell into the Canic team because I shot for Canic, and I was like, look, I'm not gonna keep shooting for you if you don't bring my kid. But now, like her Smith and Wesson stuff, she's earned every bit of that. So we kind of compete against each other in that. I still shoot for Anderson. She shoots for Smith and Wesson. So it's kind of a double-edged sword.
So, Buck, I did throw the link out there if you want to jump in. Up to you.
But it's all fun. So
The rifle that I picked up, I end up trading for, and I got one of those 1500 Howas and 308 with the chassis system all laid out and stuff. I haven't even done a video on it yet. I've had it for about a year now.
Kingpin has it right. He says if you just beat your kid once a month, the world would be a better place.
I don't know about that. You have girls. I don't usually work well with them.
I'm with RTAC on that.
So we got the gun-toting pacifist. He may take the off his name, but just like Budget Guns and Gear, y'all might know him as MK Journal. No, that's Budget Guns and Gear. I don't care. So,
What's going on, Pacifist? Glad to see you here, man.
But I mean, what one person's budget is might be expensive to another. So I guess budget is more subsidiary based upon one's income. Does that make sense?
oh yeah. Well, budget, the word budget can mean one thing to me, but it could mean something totally different to Chris. It could mean something totally different to you. It could mean something totally different to RTAC. You know, I could say, you know what? My budget for any pistol is, you know, somewhere I'm probably not going to go under $500, but I'm not going to spend over, you know, 2,000. Chris may go, you know what? Screw that, man. I'm sticking under $500. You know?
Well, it's also relative to where you live based on demographics of where you live. So where I live in Kentucky, it's, I don't want to say it's poor because it's not really poor in the area I live in, but it's very middle class in the area I live in, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you know, based on your medium income in said area, because like when I lived in South Carolina, you know, that minimum income was way different for people based on like when I lived in Washington. You know, those guys were happy that they were getting like $6 an hour, whereas everybody in Washington was complaining that they were only getting like $10.50 at the time for minimum wage. You know, so you got to think about what your minimum wage is based upon your area also.
I don't disagree with you on that. And that's kind of what I'm saying about budget. You take somebody like, I'm assuming everybody in here works some type of trade. Like RTAC, he's in the distribution trade. Chris is in the plumbing trade. I'm not sure what you do, G23.
Food manufacturing, shipping, receiving, man.
Okay, then what does RTAC do?
I have multiple. I'm a jack of all trades and master of none. No, actually, I am a building facilities manager for
warehousing company, and I have been a GM master mechanic for like 20 years, and I've done security for like 10,
Gotcha.
and
So, and
auto-
then, and I'm the guy that everybody hates because I've got that engineering background.
pretty much
Um,
everyone likes engineering. They like to change shit.
We cuss at you guys for where you decide you're gonna put a screw in the most like
God.
idiotic place.
Okay, so I'm industrial engineering. I'm a little bit different. Like I'm very hands-on mechanical, in my trade. So I cuss and fuss at the mechanical engineers all the time when they design shit. But that's all. All four of us have completely opposite ends of the spectrum of trades, and let's say Chris's trade, the average salary is, we'll just throw out there 70,000 a year. G2 3 years is, we'll say on average 55 to 60. We'll say our tax, your average is 58 to 63. We'll say mine on average is 45 to 53. Just use for an example. What's relative of your budget based on your passive income might be 500, but my budget might be 350, where our tax is 425 and Chris's is 700. That's kind of what I was saying about the budget. It's all subsidiary based upon what somebody does.
There's all kinds of mitigating factors, like your property tax there, and everybody seems to think that the budget has that negative connotation to it, like it's going to be cheap. To me, when somebody says budget, it means it's a good value for the money that you're spending.
I agree with that statement to the extent of what value do you put on said dollar, if that makes sense.
Well, let's give an example. It's like the G2C pistols are floating around anywhere from $225 to $300, depending on your area. Well, that pistol for that amount of money is a good deal.
I agree.
That pistol had brung me back to Taurus.
Yep. And there may not be a lot of people out there running out to get yourself a, custom Dan Wesson or Les Bear because, you're talking like $2,000 for the pistol.
I agree.
My mindset for $2,000, I could either get me one high dollar pistol, or I can get me 4 pistols if I budget it right, or I can get me 3 really good pistols, or 2 really good damn pistols. That's just quantity. I'd rather have quantity than a high price, because just because you pay high price for something or it's high value doesn't mean it's going to be better than that $500 pistol.
But do you think quantity overrides quality in some regards?
If you want to diversify what you have in your gun locker, yes.
But let's say let's talk apples to oranges, or not apples to oranges. Let's talk apples to apples. If you're torn between a SIG M17 or a what's comparable to the SIG M17 or the Glock 43X. Those are about the same price.
Really? Okay, let's say that they are. All right. So which one would I want? Is that what you're
Yeah.
saying? Which one
Yeah,
I'm
speaking from the relativity of quality over quantity.
So this is what I did, because I'm glad you brought that question up, because I have a 320 and I have a Glock 43. I bought the Glock 43 as my EDC gun. That's the second Glock I've ever purchased. And I liked it. It feels good in the hand. I added the +2 magazine, so a place for my pinky to go. Been pretty reliable. Never no problems out of it. Then the 43X came out. For the price to buy another gun, to buy another Glock, to me was stupid. I was pissed at Glock because you only got 3 more rounds out of it, which was to me that's just bullshit. So I used another local company, which ETS Magazines. I know some people have hit and miss with them, but I've never had any real problems with their magazines. They're made in Knoxville, Tennessee. They make a 7-round flush fit. So I grabbed that, grabbed me some of those. I grabbed me a couple of the Vicker Tactical +2, threw them together. Now I got 9 + 1. I'm only 1 round short from the Glock 43X. And I spent $100.
Yeah.
So
Or
so let's talk about the M17. Yes, I would want the M17 because that's the current service pistol, not of my beloved Coast Guard, but of the Army. So,
ain't ready to be a Marine yet.
No, I don't.
Were you a Puddle Pirate MTech or RTAC?
Yes.
Oh.
And I did not like the DAK pistols they had. I barely tolerated the M9. The M9, if it has super thin grips and they make them, then it feels better in my hand. And then I like the M9. I have a Taurus PT 92 AF with thin grips on it, and I enjoy that pistol. Let's go back to the 320. I found a used 320. It was a SIG red box. I picked it up. I put the X5 frame on it.
Mm-hmm.
The white one. I ordered from SIG. So I call it my Stormtrooper pistol. And I got all the advantages of the M17, and I don't have that extra money. So what did I do with all that extra money that I had? And I got 2 comparable guns to the 2 that you mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
I went and bought me a CZ P09 tactical full size.
But see, now you're talking with the CZ, it's on the complete other end of the spectrum of quality over price. And I'm a big CZ fan. I like the CZ. I think it's kind of a hipster market in a way, but I am a big fan of the CZ. I think they make very good firearms.
The P09 was the first. Well, not the first, but it's the first time in a long time I've had a double action polymer frame pistol.
Mm-hmm.
The trigger is in a great place for my hand, or for my finger. I like it. I got to get used to the double action on it, but after that, it shot extremely well for me. The only thing that I dislike about the PZ or the CZ75 is on double action, the trigger, the hook on it. It's the angle,
mm-hmm.
how far the trigger is. Now I have a SAR BP9 compact, which is a clone of a 75. That trigger sits back farther and it's more comfortable, and I love that gun. I like CZ75. I like the CZ75 itself. I've had a couple witnesses in 45 ACP. First, I had when those things were cheap. They were like $350 when they first came in. I had a full size and a compact, and loved those pistols. And finally, I got a 75B that I had for over a couple years, and it was, it was in 40. If I would have replaced the trigger with a flat face, I probably would have been happier with it. But yeah, I don't have a problem with CZ pistols.
Well, and that's kind of where I'm struggling right now with my new Canic, the SFX. That's where I'm struggling more than I am with anything, is because I'm so used to the double action trigger of the V2, and I've put thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of rounds through that pistol. When I'm running the SFX now, even though they're comparable on prices, they're comparable on attributes and everything, minus the trigger being a little bit different between the two, it's where I struggle more. Like you were saying with the double action of the CZ also.
See, I picked up my first double action, single action, striker fire, polymer fire, or whatever. The SIG SP 2022, and I really do like that gun. And I've said it a billion times. The only thing about that firearm that I would change would be I would put the 229 or the 226 trigger in there so that you can actually ride reset instead of having to play guess where it's going to actually reset. It may reset on the first click. Maybe it's not going to. Maybe it's going to reset on the second click. Hey, maybe not. You might have to wait to that third or fourth click before it finally decides it's going to do the reset. So, it will humble you and really make you decide that you're not going to ride reset. So that's definitely not a firearm that you'd want to take out for competition unless you were going to change out that trigger.
Well, that's my big problem with Glock personally, is the trigger. I don't bash guys that run Glocks that have put different triggers in them, but I cannot get past the price point of a Glock and having such a, to me personally, I'm not dogging anybody that loves their factory Glock trigger, but to me, it's an atrocious trigger for the price point of what that pistol runs. That's me personally, my personal opinion.
Oh, that's a fact, though, man. I mean,
so I picked up my G23, brand spanking new. It was $399, and I still run the stock factory trigger. Yes, I've changed out the slide stop, slide release, the mag release, the pins, because I just wanted, when I bought the takedown and the slide stop, slide release, and the mag release, it came as a bundle for all the oversized. And it also came with the pins. I'm like, well, why not? I mean, I already got to drive the pins out to go ahead and change everything else that, that I'm doing. So might as well put in, the nice pins to match the color of everything else. So that's the only reason why I changed the pins. It was just more of an aesthetically pleasing to the eye.
Well, and I respect that on the side of aesthetics. I mean, everybody likes aesthetics, whether it's mushing aesthetics together or having good aesthetics on everything. Like, I can't stand if you order FDE from one company and FDE from another company, the shades are completely different. I can't stand it. It drives me insane.
Don't buy a Scar.
Yeah. That UGG boot.
Yeah, UGG boot and FDE because none of it matches.
That's funny.
It doesn't. If you look at a Scar, none of the colors on it match. It's all from the factory.
Well, and the other thing, we'll go back to our topic on quantity over quality type thing. We could talk about 3 separate, or really 4 separate rifles that have all separate price points over on quality and quantity, I guess to say. So if you take a Howa 1500, a Ruger RPR that are all in chassis, granted they're all relatively, the RPR and the Howa 1500, they're about the same price range. But then you throw in the Daniel Defense Delta 5 Pro, and then we'll go one other on quality and go up to the MPA with a Curtis Action in it. If you talk about those 3, you get different quality features and different quality aesthetics with all 3 at all 3 different, or all 4 at all different price points. What would you do in an instance like that? Would you go all out for the MPA? Or would you go mid-range for the Daniel Defense? Or would you go modest range with the Howa 1500 or the Ruger RPR? Or you could even throw a Savage in there in the loop as being kind of modest range. Because Savage is pretty modest range with something like that. And we're talking bolt action.
Well, that would depend on my budget that I
Let's
have.
say your budget is, let's say their budget's not an issue. We're talking just on relativity of what would you rather have if you could have more quantity over quality versus quality. Would you rather have more quantity over quality or quality over quantity? Let's say you're going to do all the exact same stuff with it. Like, let's just say they're all going to be your long range rifle.
Okay. So we're talking about the APC chassis rifle of Howas, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we can use that chassis, yeah. Because that's pretty comparable to the RPR chassis. Or you could even go Bagara in there too.
Right. I'm gonna be a little bit. My opinion on that is going to be biased because I already have the Howa.
Okay.
And that's when you talk about the budget wise, I traded it an M4 for it that I had. That basically it was a Anderson rifle that I put together to make it look like an M4.
Mm-hmm.
And my buddy who had it, a friend of the family, he had rotator cuff surgery, so he can't shoot heavy calibers. And why did he pick this precision rifle set up for shooting long range to go deer hunting with? I did not understand. And so the deal worked out where I got a Remington 770 and 30-06 and this Howa 1500 for a Thompson Center 6.5 Creedmoor rifle, which that thing shot really damn good. It was the Compass. It was a Compass model, and that M4. So monetarily wise, I came out the winner automatically because he had like $2,000 wrapped up in this Howa.
I tend to agree with like MC. Is I'd rather have the better quality, maybe it's going to take me a little longer to save up some money to be able to purchase that better quality. But at the end of the day, I'm going to be a lot more happy.
But if you're gonna save up to spend the extra on the better quality, would you rather spend the extra on the MPA, which is Masterpiece Arms, which they're, let's just say they're top of the line which does generally run about $5,000 to $7,000 for their top of the line custom cut barrel, Curtis action, so on and so forth? Or are you saying save up for the higher quality and get the Howa and do the upgrades that you want to do with the Howa? Or are you saying more along the lines of you would rather go towards the Daniel Defense? Because I have all of these rifles. That's why I'm kind of asking, I guess, a roundabout question. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so I would probably go spend way more, get the because one, I'm not a big AR fan, never have been. I know people hate me, but I'm an AK guy, so hey.
Hey, if that's your stroke that you like, I mean, I've got AKs I've competed in Klitsch to Bash with, so
Yep.
There's nothing wrong with it.
So I would probably save up and go with the $5,000, $7,000 barrel. That would be,
I think there's a question that's not being asked here. Is that more expensive weapon going to make you shoot any better versus the inexpensive one? Because after all, it's still going to be based on your skill points.
Oh yeah, it all comes down to. And see, the thing is you could go and buy a dirt cheap. So say you're an AR fan, you could go and spend $400 building an AR. So you'd have like a trainer while you are saving up to go and get your top of the line, this and that, and spend that money. But yeah, if you're not putting in the time, effort to get better, it doesn't matter if you spend $100,000 or if you spend $100. It's still gonna perform the same.
So what if I told you I can shoot the exact same groups with all four of the rifles that we spoke of before? I can shoot the exact same dimension of the groups. With it, do you think going on a budget side rifle and getting training and practicing and trigger time and more training and more practicing and more trigger time goes further?
Oh yeah.
Or
that would definitely be, a better way. But if you're already, putting in time and effort, maybe, spending that little extra and tightening your group up, even if it's 0.02 minutes of angle in a competition, or even in self-defense, that can mean a hell of a lot, even though you may not see that with your naked eye.
I agree with you there. And that's kind of one of my big pushes why I refuse to drop Anderson as a sponsor, is because I want to prove the point with an Anderson rifle that I can hold with you guys running Knights Armament, Daniel Defenses, and things like that. Like, the only company that you'll really hear me dog on in 3-gun is Bear Creek Arsenal. Like, I'm sorry. I know there's going to be some people that are going to say I'm a fan of Bear Creek. That's cool. That's fine if that's for you. but that's the one brand that I will dog on through and through.
How come?
Quality control.
I can agree with that.
Now,
I'd say
don't get me wrong. Anderson has had their fair share of quality control, but they have always stood behind their quality control and said, we'll make it right and we'll fix it.
I'm also really challenged out there to name a single company that in any point of their history being out there on the market has not had at least one quality issue.
There's not one.
No,
Like-
yeah, exactly.
But that's what I'm saying. That's why that's one reason why I dog on Bear Creek Arsenal is because they won't stand behind their product when they know it's a QC issue. So
Just like PSA.
correct. So I've got credentials from Bear Creek Arsenal, PSA, Daniel Defense, SIG, Ruger, Savage, Defiance Actions, so on and so forth. I have many of those credentials to work on their stuff as warranty. And I've seen just as many Voodoo Tacticals come back as I've seen Daniel Defenses come back for warranty work. So I'm not saying that you can buy more reliability, but I'm saying you can buy better product, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And another thing that plays a role into it is their customer service.
Correct.
And, like that, it keeps going back to when somebody says something, I like Bear Creek Arsenal barrels, and I've built a lot of uppers. I built uppers with their barrels. It's usually how I've done things with them. My 350 Legend,
Mhm.
great. It destroyed the first scope I had on it. The 450 Bushmaster I got, it fucking broke the first extractor in 10 rounds. Now I bought their complete upper. Customer service was pretty good. The problem was that they kept sending me the wrong damn parts. So I ended up getting an extractor for a 223, a firing pin. One time I said, look, I need an extractor for a 450 Bushmaster. Please send me. And they finally, on the third time, they finally got me the damn extractor that I need.
Well, and that's the frustration of it. And I understand, like, a lot of these companies, their customer service guys and girls that work in them, they're fly-by-night employees. They get hired, they work for a week, they quit.
Yeah.
I understand that. And I think that's my biggest frustration with a lot of it is when you have fly-by-night employees that are there for 2 or 3 days and then turn around and quit, you continuously run into the same issue like what you're saying when you go to order an extractor and they send you a firing pin. It's like, what the hell? I've had this issue with a lot of companies that you wouldn't expect to have this issue with. Like, we can use for an example with my Delta 5 Pro that I received from Daniel Defense. I had an extractor issue in the beginning, and I went through changing 3 separate extractors on a bolt action rifle to come to find out that it's not the extractor, is a spring on the extractor that they had a bad batch of springs. It happens. I get it. But it turns into the same frustration like you're having, where it's like, come on, man. Like, we've had this issue time and time again. What keeps being the issue? And I think that's the biggest problem with a lot of manufacturers, where people get confused about and frustrated with tooling and machining isn't always 100% perfect when you have worn out parts and worn out machinery. I'm sure all of us that have worked manufacturing sometime in their life know that the machinery in a lot of these manufacturing places, unless you're at a brand new, freshly built manufacturing facility, it's 25, 30, 40 years old. We all know it.
Oh, some of that stuff is older than that. At Whirlpool, the presses are pushing 80 years old.
So when I worked for Crunch Pack, they do sliced apples.
Mhm.
A lot of people might recognize if you go to Walmart or Target or any of those, the Mickey Mouse head shaped sliced apples with like apple cheese and grape or apple cheese and pretzels, you know, stuff like that. That's from Crunch Pack.
Mhm.
And yeah, I mean, they would get good machines, and you know, they would buy every few years. They would like change out machines and stuff like that. But like you're saying, when you have a high turnover rate, and a lot of manufacturing companies do have a high turnover rate for a few different reasons. One is it comes down to management and supervisors can make or break your company.
Never.
But also, they don't really care about the average Joe, because they're getting government subsidies for all the training. So every time they have to train, they're getting, you know, about 80% of that money returned to them that they're investing into each person. And then if they hire somebody who was on food stamps or on welfare, they almost get 100% of that back.
I agree. So when I went to college and got my engineering degree, I'll throw out the company that I worked for, and it was Walmart. Like Walmart Incorporated, I worked in their logistics division and oversaw operations and outbound operations of logistics and inbound operations of logistics. And man, I can tell you, I oversaw 860 employees at one time. And of those 860, I think there's 3 people that are still there from the day I started. When I've since left the company, but in the logistics division of one facility that I worked at, there's 3 people that are left there from when I hired in there 6 years ago. And that's assuming they're still there. I don't have contact with them anymore.
Yeah, I worked for Walmart for a few months. And yeah, that I was there, what was it, in 2007, 8, right in that area.
Mhm.
And I landed them a couple very lucrative contracts.
Mhm.
Because I worked in the electronics department.
Mhm.
And after I landed them these very lucrative contracts, they decided they wanted to move me out of that area, and then we're like, you know, yeah, we just don't need you anymore. It's like,
And that's
it's like, wait, I just land you 2 fucking hotels with a 5-year contract saying that they're going to replace all their TVs and get them from you, you know, with a very guaranteed, you know, we're getting X amount of TVs every year for the next 5 years. And then I land you 2 professional football players for getting all the TVs and all the electronics that are going to go into their homes, and yet I'm not a good enough employee.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. Like, so I oversaw, the last year I was there, I oversaw our travel team of logistics. So we would travel to multiple different distribution centers and retrain and rehire and start fresh at that distribution center, whether they had 1,000 employees or they had 200 employees. We would completely wipe out the distribution center and start over from scratch. The last year I was there, and what made me leave was when I would hire somebody in and I would train them up and they would start doing right. And I would leave said facility and I would go back to my home facility. And then I would get emails over, well, Jim Job Joe isn't doing what he's supposed to be doing. Why isn't he doing it the right way? Well, he was taught the right way, but I can't babysit him. And it turned into a lot of political type crap. And being at the level of competitive shooting that I'm at, it turned into more crap every day with it. Like, it turned into a lot more hassle than what it was worth. How about that? Lack of better terms.
Yep.
So, like, it got to the point to where they started saying, well, if you're going to these competitions, you can no longer use your vacation time, this, that, and the other, because we don't support this, we don't support that, we don't agree with what you're doing, this, that, or the other, and the third. And it turned into a lot more of an issue than what it ever should have been. So I understand. I know how rough that company is. And if anybody in your comment section here works for them, I'm sorry. I tried to make a change.
Yep. James Pugh says Walmart is a joke. Let my mom go 20 years ago due to cancer. Told better off she go.
Yeah, and now I work for a manufacturing company that recognizes my skill set that I have in engineering and respects my opinion on things. Granted, they don't necessarily agree with all my views on things, but they do respect my opinion on things. And I can honestly say I love the company that I work for. They do treat us right.
And that's the important thing. I worked at sometimes it's best to work a job that pays low pay, because one, you enjoy the work, two, you enjoy the people that you work with, and you can get along with them, and three, if it's it was a do nothing job, and you enjoy that thing. So sometimes just being in a place that you can go with the flow, it's a lot easier and you get along and be happy versus making money, a lot more money somewhere else and hating a damn place.
I agree. Like, I will say without a shadow of a doubt, I did make significantly more money for the job I was doing at Walmart versus the job that I'm doing now. But I am happier at the job that I'm doing now than I was at the job I'm doing that I did at Walmart. If that makes any elated sense on what I'm saying.
Oh, yes, it does, because that's another thing. It's not always the money, it's the people you work with. And like you said, I had the golden ticket at one time for it's led me to my current position. Let's put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
The last 6 years, I was the security manager at the old Whirlpool site here in Cleveland. Mm-hmm. And the property manager, they split us apart. So they closed the factory down that I was in around me. after they built the new one around me at the other site. So anyway, long story short is that Gary and Fred, if these two individuals called me at this point right now and told me to jump, I would say how high. Basically, Gary said, if you and my guards your guards are happy, then I'm going to be happy. And I was like, well, I'm glad you see it that way. Yeah. He says, and what did he do? Within the first 6 months, everybody got a $2 pay raise.
No, I agree with you.
And if one of my guards would come up to me and say, such and such, we ban Whirlpool employees from their own damn site and no repercussions. And they did not come back unless they sit down in front of us, admitted what they did wrong, and then they had to sign an agreement stating that they will not do said things, and they will, and it's completely different from if you was at the Whirlpool plant, because there, you're treated like shit. These two individuals treated us like gold, and if I said something, it was like E.F. Hutton said it. And it Kurt, you know what I mean? So yeah, respect from your employers. And they didn't treat me like an employee, or like a subcontractor, or somebody that cost them money. They treated not only myself but my guards as fellow employees. We didn't see ourselves as two different companies. You see what I'm saying? We were one unit.
Well, and that's a lot of. And that's one of the things about the company I work for. So we have a lot of third-party contractors that do work for us. And when we do a company picnic, or the company pays for food for the employees, the subcontractors are considered employees. They might not have the health benefits that we have, or the 401k benefits, or the pension benefits that we have. But when we all get a shirt for the company that we work for that might say we do this for the love of our pets, well, our contractors get that shirt too, because they are doing this for the love of their pets. We make a very bougie dog food and pet food. So I do thoroughly enjoy the company that I work for and the values that they have. Like, they value our family over the product getting out the door. And that speaks a lot of volume there.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got free healthcare for myself and my kids. And if I had, let's just say, for an example, I had a domestic partner or a partner at all, whether we were married or not, I could add them to my insurance at no extra charge, because they're a entity of myself and reflect how I perform my job, if that makes sense.
Yep, because if your kids are sick, you're not going to be at work, and they would rather spend a couple extra dollars to make sure that, they're staying healthy, so you stay at work.
I agree. So there's just there's some things that the company does that I don't like. I mean, I'll say it. There's things that they do that I don't agree with. But at the end of the day, that's their right. It's their company. I don't have to like everything they do. But they do pay me a livable wage that I'm happy with. And like I said, the healthcare aspect alone, that's worth its weight in gold.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Especially now. I mean, look at healthcare now. At any employer, like, let's just use G23, we can use your employer, or RTAC, we can use yours, or even Chris, we can use yours. I know Chris isn't here right now.
I love my employer. So they pay 100% of the insurance cost. Yeah, you're gonna, but they also put in X amount of dollars per month into an HSA, which that carries over month to month or year to year. And if you retire, that can then be turned into like a retirement fund. So it's really nice knowing that if you go to the doctor, that $200 or whatever bill isn't coming directly out of your pocket per se. It comes from, you're going to use your HSA to pay that bill, but again, you can write that off on your taxes. But you also can have that as a retirement also. So it's kind of nice,
Oh yeah. And there's something said for that. I know we're kind of off topic of what we were talking about, but I think good work life and home life balance. Sorry, my husky's yelling at me. I just walked back in the room here. But good home life and work life balance really helps a lot, especially in the competitive shooting aspect of everything. Sorry, my husky keeps yelling at everybody.
Just trying to say hello.
Well, this when I got up and we got ready to go, I got ready to go to the range this morning. Like, I'd fed him as soon as I woke up at 5:30 this morning. I'd fed him and took my shower before I went to the match and got in my mindset and everything like that. Well, he started yelling at me because he'd ate all his food and he wanted more. I was like, no, you just ate.
Yeah, but he's not 100% sure when you're going to return.
Well, I filled up his food. I filled up his food bowl before I left, and it's still full now. So it's like, come on now. You were fussing and screaming that I hadn't fed you before I left, and now your food bowl is still full. And
yeah, but now he wants you to dump out that because it's old. It's been sitting out all day, and he wants fresh new stuff.
Oh no, it'll go back in the same bag that it came from, and then put back in his food bowl.
Yeah, but he's thinking he's getting new stuff. See, he doesn't realize that it's just recycled.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. But he's a good dog. He's my little buddy that goes with me everywhere.
Yep.
So, but yeah, so what's all your guys' favorite or further shots? I know Chris said 400.
Mine's 500.
Yeah, 400 is a furthest I've shot.
I've done a couple 600-yard shots, and I normally stick at 300 to 400 if I'm going rifle. I'll go 25, 30 yards on a pistol.
Gotcha.
Pistol, I never went more. I don't. You go with more than 25 on a pistol.
Well, if any of you guys ever get close to here and want to stretch out past your set marks there, let me know. We can make it happen. We can get all of you out to 1,000.
Oh, I would definitely love to do 1,000. It's not that I don't have the ability for like a range to be able to hit 1,000 yards. It's just I've never actually tried it, And I think the only thing that's kind of held me back is I would definitely like to have a spotter so that you're not, shooting and then trying to come up to see where you're going on your shots and then go back to, the rifle.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Well, a lot of that is recoil mitigation too. If you can mitigate your recoil and can watch your trace going out, it really helps a lot too. So my comp rifles weigh over 30 pounds a piece, so they're pretty hefty on the weight. So I do that to mitigate recoil because I'm a little sensitive to recoil now that I'm getting older. I don't like it.
yeah. But I know we've been going almost 3.5 hours, so I don't want to step on a lot of toes of people that are starting to get ready to do some other live streams. So I am going to probably call this one. It was great having everybody on. So I'm going to start with Bending Ballistics. You want to do an outro, give a channel shout out, anything?
Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. It's been fun. We had a pretty wild conversation, so it's pretty good. Got a little bit sidetracked, but best way to get a hold of me, where I do a lot more uploads and it's normally memes, is on my Instagram, which is bending_ballistics on Instagram. I'm eventually going to get back to uploading a lot more on my channel. I've just been consumed with matches, so matches take priority for me, especially considering things that I have to fulfill. So that's kind of my priority there. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, yeah.
I enjoy YouTube, but my priorities are matches. So appreciate you guys having me on.
It was great having you show up, and you are definitely welcome back anytime.
Alrighty. Yeah, come June, my schedule will open up a lot more, and because that's normally our slow time with matches. So I know Chris has asked me about jumping on his. Come the end of June, beginning of July is when matches will start slowing down. So
Yeah, you're welcome on anytime.
I appreciate you, Chris.
Yeah, I appreciate this. It was fun. I was glad to get you on tonight.
Yeah, I'm glad we had a good conversation. It was a very good conversation we all had.
Hell yeah, it was pretty fun. Like you said, we touched on a lot of different topics, but we kept everything flowing, and it doesn't always have to revolve around firearms all the time. Sometimes just having a BS session and kind of blowing off steam is fun.
And that makes for a great conversation too. I mean, when you could talk about multiple different things and keep it going. So.
Yep. Mr. Artak and Daughters, you want to plug anything before we get out of here?
I'll be looking for the for Masterpiece Arms little Uzi gun that they got.
I know where one is.
I picked one of those up already. Not the Uzi, but the MPA. I don't know if the 9mm Mac 10 looking gun.
Mm-hmm.
Pick one of those up. Got all kinds of AR rifle builds, AR-10 rifle builds, or I should say the SR-25. Got a 308 pistol build. Going to have an 8.6 blackout build coming up. Plus, we got magazine Mondays and ammo hauls and all kinds. I try to do 3 videos a week.
So talking about the 8.6 blackout, and I know you want to get out of here, G23, but I got a bet going on with a couple people that are building this rifle. What powder do you think it is, Artak?
I have no idea.
I've got a bet.
Well, what's the company's on the bet? Because Gorilla Ammunition is the one making it.
It is. But Gorilla Ammunition also helped develop the Hodgdon CFE Black for the 300 Blackout.
Okay.
I bet I'm not going to put my first spawn on it or anything like that, but I do have a bet that the powder that it's going to call for is going to be H1000 or CFE Black.
CF3 Black is the same for 300.
Yeah, CFE Black or CFE BLK. I'm assuming it's for Black. Is going to be that powder for it.
MC just threw a good comment out there. Eagle Run 23's building one right now. I've been watching the series on it. It's a pretty cool series, so that'd be a good channel to check out on it too.
That's one of the people I've got a bet going with on the powder is Eagle Run.
Yeah.
Him and I talk quite a bit.
Yeah, I like him. Like his channel.
That'd probably be the first rifle round that I'll start loading for.
Well, if you ever need help with loading, don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'm like for bottleneck cartridges or anything like that, don't hesitate to reach out. I will be more than happy to help you with it.
I've had a Lee anniversary loader set for 15 years. I'm going to set it up one of these days.
Well, like I said, if you ever need help learning how to or anything like that, don't hesitate to reach out to me on Instagram. And I'm more than happy to video chat with you and tell you, no, don't do that. Do this while I can watch what you're doing.
Okay.
I'm sure Chris is the same way. G23 is, I'm sure. Rather you be safe than not.
Yeah. G-Webs. Yeah, you saw it already, G. Yeah.
Yep.
He won the 450 upper. That's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah. With a 22 long rifle out of a life card shot.
That's what I heard.
So, Mr. Chris from the 740, you have anything you want to plug, like me destroying your live on Wednesday night?
No, that was what I was going to plug, was just make sure everybody, even though I'm not going to be I'm going to try. I mean, I should be able to be on the show, but just in case I can't, G's taking over my show Wednesday night from 9 to 11 Eastern. So hopefully I will be in Vegas and be on the show with you. So that's the game plan. But other than that, that's really all I'm going to plug tonight. This was awesome. I love talking to Bending Ballistics tonight on here, and the side chat was awesome. And always fun hanging out with you and Artac.
Yes, it was a great live this evening, and I hope not to screw up your Wednesday night show. So the pressure's on.
You've been on pretty much I'd say you've been on 80% of them. I think you'll be just fine.
I think I've missed like one or two that I wasn't on the panel. So
that was when I first got started. So yeah,
I think I missed one once after I have been on there. I think I missed one. That was a work-related issue.
Yeah.
But okay,
well, I'll be there. I'll be in the comment section. So
if you guys are looking for something to do, get over there and support Rich White. He's got his live show going on right now, and
Barbecue's going to be doing his here in a minute.
Booby Cube.
Yep. So play the intro and we'll hang out in the back chat. Hello and goodbye, Tim S.
Yep.